There we go.
Hey, everybody.
And we should be live now.
Hello, everyone.
Yes.
Yep. Yes, we are live.
There we go. Awesome. Alrighty. Okay, so, I know I posted on the, the channel, you know where you post the announcements and such? So, I know I posted that originally tonight was gonna be our next session of Curse of Strahd. However, we had to postpone it because Jordan had some stuff that he had to take care of, pretty important things. So, it's like... So we all agreed it'd be best to, like, put it off at least for, you know, at least until the next session so that Jordan can get done whatever it is that he needs to get done. But in the meantime, one of the ideas back when we were first talking about even starting this thing was maybe doing, like, kind of like a rotating thing where we stream a session, and then that following Saturday, when normally we wouldn't stream a session, we go and do, like, a recap or something.
Yeah. No worries, Green Star. All the VODs are still here on this channel, so if you want to catch up, you can do so now.
And, you know, this is actually the perfect opportunity because, you know, we can easily answer questions and stuff, you know. So the whole purpose of tonight's stream, because we're not actually streaming any sessions... We're just gonna chill. We can provide any kind of recaps. If any of you guys have any questions, like if you need clarifications on things that have happened, or if you want to ask any of us other questions about, like, our characters, provided that it's not gonna be something that we are gonna risk spoiling. You know, so that's just pretty much what tonight's stream is gonna be. It's pretty much a chill stream.
We also have Mimi here.
Apparently the chat's not showing up.
Oh, fuck you, YouTube.
It might be, yeah, it might be...
Okay, hang on, because hang on.
It's not under the overlay, is it?
Oh, nope, there it is. It's popping up now.
There we go.
Okay. Yeah, YouTube is fucking weird.
Yeah, say hi to Mimi, everyone.
Yes.
Hello, Mimi.
Yes, so...
Shut up.
Yeah, so right now, so we've got myself, we've got our Dungeon Master Jordan, we have our Paladin, that would be Brian, we have our Cleric now, and that is, that's the TP.
I am the TP.
Yeah, so we are actually, we're actually hosting the actual voice call in, like, the server where we're normally playing, so So for all we know, I invited everyone else saying, you know, hey, if you guys aren't busy, if you want to swing by, say hi and join in, you're more than welcome to. Otherwise, they can enjoy their weekend. So right now, that is all who we have. We do have our wizard/sorceress Kira, but she's not in the call, but I do see she's in the chat. So So if you have any questions for her, by all means, feel free to ask them. She'll be sitting by. I know she's not been feeling good lately. I think she got like a little bit of the cold, so that's why she's not here.
Yes, but again, keep spoilers to an absolute minimum. I know we shouldn't have to say this, but keep them to a minimum. Okay, so I already see Green Star Relaxing already has a question, so let's read that real fast.
I mean, actually, before you do, just for clarification, well, I know a couple of players here have played Curse of Strahd or something similar before. I have not. I am the fresh meat of the party.
You and me both. So it's like, I think like you, me,
and Brian.
You, me, and Brian, TP, are us three. This is our first time playing Curse of Strahd. Everybody else, I believe, has at some point. So, the three of us are still very new, so, yeah, just bear that in mind.
Yeah.
Alright, so, back to the question. Gonna exercise my DM muscles here. If I'm about to say something, wait until I'm done, okay?
Yes.
Okay, I just wanted to clarify, just in case.
It's fine.
Nope.
It's fine.
Yeah.
But let's let's read the damn question, please.
Okay.
If we're answering questions and I don't have time for checking the VODs right now, again, you have plenty of time until, I want to say the 18th. That's where we're going to pick up our, game again. Are there any plot-related things or generally important stuff I need to know?
A fair amount has happened, so you know what? We got the time. Let's recap from session 1.
All right, here we go.
We might as well, because again, I know.
You know what?
We're like what 6 sessions into this, and again, the original plan was this is what we were going to be doing was we do a session the following Saturday would be the recap of that specific session. We just never got around to it. Part of it is because Ryan was doing his Spooky Needle Geeks, and he was doing them at those times, alternating, and we did not want to take that away from him. And then there were times where we were just busy. So, recap, let's go.
Okay. I have them right here, so let's read them as is. So.
Okay.
So, Session 1 was Into the Mist, so what we did for this is we had a Session 0. Basically, a Session 0 is an introductory course, I guess, for what to expect in the game, what everyone would like to each have going into it. So, it's sort of setting up expectations, setting up limits if we need to, things like that. But Session 1, the one we actually streamed, reads, picking up where we left off in Session 0, our heroes were contacted by Morwen Daggerford, Duchess of the town of Daggerford in Sword Coast, to investigate a mysterious attack by a group of bandits in the woods near the Greyflow River, on suspicion of a werewolf attack. Upon arrival, it would seem the Duchess's hunch was correct, as the party was ambushed by the returning bandits, led by a Dhampir. They fought for a while, with one of the bandits transforming into a werewolf who attacked the traitor. Eventually, Kedrot, our paladin, beheaded the Dhampir, and Kira, our warlock sorcerer, blasted away the final bandit with one final blast of magical energy granted to her by her patron, Bahamut. But not before the two adversaries spoke of them, playing right into their master's hands. Victorious, the party recovered the head of the werewolf as proof of their victory upon the return to Ducal Castle, as well as information pertaining to where the bandits came from, the land of Barovia. And,
yeah, that
Barovia is essentially the setting of this campaign.
Yeah.
Yeah. Really quickly pausing.
Well, I already read it, so.
No. Really quickly pausing. Someone joined the chat.
Oh.
Yeah, it's Sugash.
Oh.
Hey, Zagash.
Do we? Hello. We have Sugash. We got our monk.
Yeah.
Okay, so just in case, I don't know when you showed up, but somebody in the chat is interested in watching the campaign, but didn't have the time to actually watch the previous session. So we're just kind of giving like a very brief recap on everything that's happened so far.
Yeah. Okay. And speaking of which, we just finished the first one, so let's read the summary for the second session. So, Session 2. Last time we played, the party had dinner with one Duchess Morwen, enjoying their well-earned victory and celebrating new possibilities, such as Kira with her fiancé and husband-to-be, Taka. With her old friends to defend them and Illisen's blessings in Kedrot's case, they traveled to Secumber to meet with Arigal, a mysterious but seemingly friendly Vistani associate of the Duchess. He gave them a letter written by the Burgomaster of Barovia, asking the party for help in defeating Barovia's Dark Master, Strahd von Zarevich, the BBEG of the campaign, which they readily accepted. So, after they helped the rest of the Vistani gather supplies, they were informed of Strahd's history with the nomadic group of travelers, and were quickly ushered inside by Madame Ava's tent to have their fortunes read. A fellow trainee and old friend of Sagash's, Esmeralda de Avenir, another Vistani, had the first piece of the puzzle on their journey, the Tome of Strahd. Sagash read it while traveling with the Vistani on the road at night, but just before they could finish reading it, they were met with a menacing fog, and they were attacked by a group of wolves, a pack of wolves, led by a direwolf. So a lot of Kira's friends were killed. She had 3 friends traveling with her. Taka, her fiancé, a cleric named Xavier, and her friend, the rogue Arissa, fled without as much of a second thought. she bolted. For reasons we can't explain, but, anyway, the dire wolf, leading the pack of wolves, had magical abilities. It shrugged off everything the party threw at it, and it even threw a cone of cold, which, got our rogue, Ricket by surprise. I was like, it cast cone of cold, and he's like, I'm sorry, what? It's moments like that that makes D&D so magical, but anyway, just before the party could, do anything else, it disappeared, bit the throat of Taroka, and basically left him to bleed out and die. The party tried to help him recover from his wounds, but they too were engulfed by the thick white mists, and they reawakened at the west gates of Barovia, which is where the adventure officially begins.
Okay. Actually, before we move on to the next session, I guess something like...
Oh, Kira, I thought you were sick.
Oh, is she in the call?
Yep.
Yeah, she just popped up.
Oh! Hey,
Sorry.
how you feeling?
You're a fucking trooper.
You know what? I don't care. I'm feeling a little bit better. I just had chicken.
Okay, well, don't...
I
Chicken always helps.
Yeah, well,
I can
okay.
hear the sick.
Alright, well, regardless, don't overdo it if, don't try and, force yourself by any means. But,
Yeah, don't worry. I'll only talk if I need to talk or answer any questions about my character or anything.
Okay. But, actually, what I was actually gonna ask beforehand, because, I don't think because a fair amount of our audience has never played Curse of Strahd. I think it might be interesting to maybe talk about the whole, the card reading thing, because isn't that, one of, the biggest things people love about Curse of Strahd?
Yes.
I will talk about that right now. So the reason why the party, now that we finished reading the recap for session 2, the reason why they went to Madame Ava, she is, I sort of wrote her as the matriarch of the Vistani, the traveling group of nomads that go around helping people with whatever they need, depending on the writer. But, the card reading, and there's an actual deck that you can, purchase, or it's in the, module for Curse of Strahd if you need it. What you would do is you would pick cards, arrange them in a cross formation, and...
The Celtic cross.
Yeah, Celtic cross. And Eva would read the cards out, and then it would dictate the biggest bullet points of what to do in the main quest. We won't say what it is, but if I can summarize it in some way, 3 of them are vital, so they dictate what items you need for sure to help you defeat Strahd. The 4th one is, if you need any help, from any important NPCs, then you can go to them. In our case, we have about 4. And the final one dictates, okay, when you finally face Strahd, where is he? That gives away his location. So these cards, I sort of have it set up so they're like the party's GPS in a way. So it tracks down where these items are, or at least indicates if they're close to the item or persons of interest.
Yeah, so bottom line, pretty much if you do...
And I'm sorry to cut you off, Danny, but I need to correct Green Star Galaxian. You can play whatever character you want. If you think you're gonna have fun with it, go for it. It doesn't have to be an epically written and tragic character. If it's someone you want to really play as, fucking go for it, man.
You could even be Blade Beak.
You could even play a chicken and nobody will question it.
You can even play Geralt from Geralt of Rivia from The Witcher, or Samus Aran.
Yeah, but bottom line, with the whole thing with the Taroka deck, to my understanding, basically, the readings that we got for our current campaign, if, let's just say, for example, for whatever reason, maybe, Boone, our Sugash, decides, you know what, I want to run Curse of Strahd. His reading is going to be so radically different, which changes the
Yes.
adventure.
Yeah.
Yeah, so my Taroka reading won't be the same as his Taroka reading.
Yeah, so basically, the whole card reading itself guarantees a different adventure every time you play, and that's...
It is in fact a way for somebody like me to modify the campaign without modifying the campaign.
Right.
Yeah.
And in real...
Go ahead.
Yeah, and in real life, with my real tarot card deck, I have picked out 7 cards that represents the party.
Yeah, and
Oh yeah, go for
right,
it.
and that's why we've also had some artwork be done, with it, as I'm sure that we've seen before.
Yeah. So Corey is the Hierophant. Kira is the Lovers. I mean, obviously. Ark is the Tower. Sugash is the Chariot, which honestly I still want to see him riding his freaking cook wagon.
Oh, that's what we're doing. We're making Flavor Town.
Oh, yeah. Context. We're gonna actually, this goes into the recap for session 3, which we'll interject after Kira's done explaining her card suits that she chose for us.
Yeah. Mimi is the High Priestess, which I think is a very fitting card for her. Ricket is the Moon, and recently, before Kedrop was the King of Coins, which was a minor Arcana card, but now because of his new transformation, I picked out the new card, which is also a major Arcana, is Death, which means transformation.
Yeah. Alright, so session 3 recap. So the party wakes up in the land of Barovia. They first explored the West Gates, where they woke up, where they found a scroll of remove curse. And then they walked along until Kedrop found a faded cameo of a little girl with black hair, which was someone they have met in the Vistani camp. And their journey took them to the Gates of Kresk, which was boarded off due to difficulties with wine shipments. So they followed their directions given to them by the guards, and then they went to the Serpul, which is where the Vistani ended up, the Vistani that took them to Barovia. So once there, they told one of the characters named Luvash, they told him of the cameo that they found. So it inspires him to essentially rush over to the neighboring town of Vallaki, which is where the party went and followed him to.
Hi, Ricket.
Hey, Ricket. We're just reading some recaps right now. So while on their journey, they were told that, on the instructions of Madame Ava, to go relocate the Tome of Strahd, which... when they were unconscious, it was missing from their possession. So they had to find it again. So, because they were warned to not invite Strahd by speaking his name, because in order for a vampire to enter the premises, they had to be invited. So they gave him a safe name named Strudel. Strudel von Zarevich, I think it's called?
Yeah, Strudel von Zarevich.
Yeah.
I also have a new one, by the way. My friend suggested calling him Strahd's son of a bitch.
That's also apt, but, so, they were given a horse.
I'm a big fan of Strudel von Sour Patch.
Yeah. So, they were given a horse, so they can go to, Vallaki. It was given to them by someone named Kazimir Velikov. Sort of a gloomy and depressed, man. Who's probably been through lots of ordeal. We'll get to him eventually. So, they went to the Blue Water Inn. They were informed of what's going on with the winery called the Wizard of Wines. It's over to the west of Vallaki. So they were sort of nudged to check it out whenever they're able to, until suddenly... Luvash stormed into the inn, demanding answers as to the whereabouts of his daughter, Arabelle. until a regular tipped him off that the town drunk left with the greatest bait known to man, as he put it. So, they went to chase after him, of course not until getting to experience the amazing side thing known as the RSX Stockyard. It's basically the town market, and that's where they met characters such as well, actual names, but for the icons I chose for them on Roll20, we had Muriel and Eustace, and their dog, Bravery. We had Legolas with his Boyery. And then we had Faghieri with his shop known as Flavor Town.
I hate life.
And it's actually what kickstarted Sugash to being our party cook. So
yeah, like Jordan actually put together a fucking cooking system just for this.
Yeah, we did. And whatever the party cooks, they can either, well, they both act as a long rest, but depending on the meal, the party can either get temporary hit points or they can get inspiration.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, I think, like, literally after that session, we were just laughing at the idea of yeah, we're doing Flavor Town. And he went and said, okay, here's some recipes, complete with ingredients and such. So that's why, like, you know, as we're traveling, we're now like, oh, okay, we gotta go hunt for ingredients, because we gotta keep Flavor Town rolling.
Yeah. And anyway, back to the main plot after that hilarious encounter. They then went over to Lake Zarovich, which was on the way. And they fought up some sea spawns to save Arabelle, and by consequence,
the drunk.
Her captor, the drunk, Bluto, and they threw him in prison. They got their reward, and then they left town to they left to go
the tower.
I got it. Don't worry. I'm just trying to find the words. You're good. So they went back to the inn to recuperate from the battle, and then Argal came by and said, hey, you should go to the tower. So they did, and Sugash actually recognized it as where he grew up, because it was actually his master, Rudolf van Richten's tower. He's a famous monster slayer in the context of D&D. Think of him as the Van Helsing equivalent in this world. So he found out it was sort of ramshackled and laying in ruins, and he found a letter addressed to him from his master, and he left him with a monster hunter's kit and the mission of defeating Strahd in his stead. I'm sorry, Strudel. So they leave the tower determined, and the monk of Tyr, the monk of the Hand of Tyr, was eager to deal out his anger on a certain orc named Garl the Undying.
And he loves to show up when Sugash is angry. He just loves to show up when Sugash is angry. Sugash's personal punching bag.
Yeah, that's kind of what he turned into. But with that in mind, this goes on to session 4, Starred for Help. So the party did battle with the self-titled Garl the Undying, which, yes, you can tell whenever he announces, "Still alive!" With a posse of like-minded barbarians working for Strahd. So, obviously the party dealt with them no problem, and they sought to head back to the Serpool encampment to seek Madame Ava's guidance, only to receive a heartfelt gift from Luvash, and they were told Madame Ava was not to be disturbed because she was deep in meditation about something. Instead, they go to the Vistani encampment in Vallaki to find Casimir, who turns out to be the leader of the Dusk Elves, a faction of elves who all had their women slaughtered as punishment for fighting against Strahd. They were originally from Etheris, in our game, which is actually the setting of elements of game mechanics we're taking from a 5e supplement called Grim Hollow. It's a dark fantasy setting, and it has some pretty nasty effects, like curses, and bleeding is a status where you can't recover health, and it's perfect for a dark fantasy setting, so that's why we incorporated it in our games. But anyway, Rickett encouraged Casimir to rise above himself and help the party by any means necessary. So he told them to go to Barovia village to see the damage the vampire lord has done. So after getting some supplies for the road and meeting some interesting characters, they were given safe passage by one of the Vistani, and they witnessed a horrific sight for things to come at the Iblis River crossroads. Particularly, an image of Rickett was hanging from a noose. They heard Garl say still alive. Because of course they did.
I was dying at that, by the way.
So, this brings us to session 5. Belly of the Beast. So, after they dealt with Garl again, the party finally arrived in Barovia village, which is a mournful and troubled town. Very desolate place, muddy streets, people are sick, and it's just really not a nice place. It was there they met characters like Mad Mary and the friendly wandering Ogresh bard, Erig, who told them much about Strahd and the land of Barovia. And later that night, when they went to rest, because it was late by the time they arrived, Ark was contacted by the spirit of Kavan, a long-dead patriarch of his tribe, to head to the Wizard of Lines to begin the process of recovering his lost memories. And Kedrot also forged a new friendship in Mimi, who was heckled for her being a tiefling earlier that night. And actually, I did draw this moment for just how adorable that moment was. So in the morning, they met the dashing baronet, Ismar Kolyanovich, who asked the party to act as bodyguards for his sister Irina and himself. They want to go to Kresk to get away from the conflict, basically. But while they're on their way to meet with him, they helped remove the curse from the local priest's son, Doru, and after that they went to bury the Kolyanovich's father. They followed the angsty Irina to the farmlands, where Corey actually caught wind of 2 kids that were standing in front of a haunted house, which we renamed Durst Manor. Players who are familiar with Curse of Strahd would know this as the Death House, which was a bit of a TPK cesspool, not gonna lie.
Yeah, like if I recall correctly, doesn't the actual module begin with the Death House?
Usually.
Yeah.
Well, it's nudged to be that.
Yeah, because you're originally supposed to do it at level 1.
Well, not only that, but you were supposed to start in Barovia first.
Oh, okay.
I decided to have the party start all the way over into Kresk because I wanted to give them the slow burn to, okay, there's a town, it's boarded off, that's weird. Let's go over to this town. Okay, it's happy, but something is definitely off. And then when you get to Barovia village, then you see Castle Ravenloft in the distance. It's like, oh, this is the kingdom of Strahd. And he does not seem all that good. It was a recommendation by a YouTube user, you may have heard of him, called XP to level 3.
Great channel, by the way. Like, if you're
amazing channel.
Yeah, especially if you want to get
Some of his takes are
yeah, if you want to get
some of his takes I don't like.
Let her
like
speak.
Yeah, like, you know, for the most part, I found XP to level 3 to be very helpful for like when you're getting started. Like, you need some more basic information on a specific class or how things are run. He breaks it down in a way that you're able to understand it very easily.
And he has some pretty funny skits. Yeah, yes, skits. I cast fireball. So that's where that comes from, if you keep wondering where I keep quoting that.
Cast fireball. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, back to the Death House. There was an amazing supplement made by Lunch Break Heroes, another YouTube channel about D&D, where they essentially fixed the ever-loving fuck out of the Death House and made it actually manageable. Because it had some things that were kind of unfair, you know, monsters that were a bit too high in challenge rating, maybe there were too many monsters, clumped up into one place, so they spread them out a little bit more evenly. And it also gave a reason for why the party is even in this house in the first place. Because the original module didn't really have a motivation. It was so separate from the rest of the region that it's just sort of there.
So it was literally like just you come across a house and you just decide, fuck it, why not?
Yeah, like the kids nudged you to go inside, but other than that, there really wasn't much of a reason for you to be there. It was just to grind levels.
Old school Death House is like very, very out of left field.
I know. I've heard people play the Death House in one shots, and oh my god, like one person ran Death House, and the entire party was wiped out.
Ooh.
And they were level 2, by the way. They weren't level 1. They were level 2. So that gives you a little bit of a sneak peek of how awful and how challenging this freaking Death House is.
Well, it was thanks to me.
Yeah,
because I decided to incorporate the revamped stuff.
I do love the fact that be it me and Sugashi have a combo attack that we did on the Spectre.
Well, and it wasn't the first time you did it either, because that's how you finished Garl the first time. And, yes, the Spectre is the next point. So while they're exploring the mansion, they discover that it's haunted. And they meet a Spectre. And the Spectre actually turns out to be the spirit of the Handmaiden. Which brings us to session 6. Okay, here we go. So, our heroes proceed through the rest of Durst Manor. I'm sorry, Rickett Manor, because
Rickett really wanted
that to the house.
He really wanted that house.
Yeah. So they followed the instructions of the spirits of the children, as well as the handmaiden named Anya. They learn more about the sordid history of the household and the affair between the patriarch and the handmaiden that led to its downfall. So what happened in the history of Durst Manor is that from the revamped supplement, the Durst family used to be a well-to-do family of farmers, and they had a windmill to their name and everything. They did well for a while until famine started seeping in. They had no money to grow food or, supply themselves. So the matriarch, Elizabeth Durst, she came up with the idea, hey, why don't we just cannibalize people?
Lovely.
Which gave rise to a pretty horrific cult following, which Strahd found detestable, so he decided to curse the family after they killed the handmaiden and the patriarch's son, Walter. He was just a baby, and Elizabeth sacrificed him for the rituals. And Elizabeth was cursed into to be a gibbering mouther. And she had monsters known as Boneless as her minions. Essentially, Boneless are these flayed flaps of human skin that their aim is to wrap around their victims and then suffocate them to death. really gross.
Boneless pizza.
Yeah, honestly, I think the name could be better, but honestly, the concept alone is terrifying. Like, getting wrapped up and suffocated by animated flayed skin. So they defeated Elizabeth. They escaped the Metroid escape sequence.
Thank
and then
you, control water.
Yeah,
because of course you would have the Metroid escape sequence.
but yes, that's not what we played for the escape though. But that's besides the point. So we escape the house, and the party meets Strahd von Zarevich there. The big bad, just standing there and congratulating them for getting rid of not only Elizabeth's cursed form, but setting the spirits free of everyone involved, and also retrieving a certain crystal that Mimi held on to. And it was there that he tried to invite them to dinner, but of course, Ark and Sugash were not having it. So it prompted a battle between the party, and Kadrat was killed.
But he got better.
Impaled through the chest. And Strahd forced himself onto Kira, calling her his bride-to-be. Really creepy. Especially given the fact that he had someone spy on her for her whole life. And for context, to make this even creepier, Kira's 18 years old.
Yep.
Man, that music change.
and the only ones who could stand up to him, or at least put on a brave face, was Sugash and Rikit. And before things could escalate even further, a white flash seemed to have emanated from Kira. It's revealed to be her spirit guide, which she named Copper.
He's a good doggo.
Yeah, is a good doggo based off of an ethereal German shepherd. So hours come to, and a bud appeared in Kadrat's place, and before anyone could really do anything with it, that's where, once again, they meet Garl. But as the party had an altercation with him, Mimi, for one, stood up and said, "Shut up," to Garl as he was, spouting his mouth off. And Kadrat assumed his transformation into a fae thanks to his patron Ilusen. Yes, that Ilusen.
Yeah. Hey, Garl, still alive.
Hey, that's my line! And before any more confrontations could be had, Corey steps up and says, "Yeah, okay. How about you leave?" And she rolled really well on her persuasion, and Garl agreed and left.
And you know what's funny, Jordan? What Corey did also ties into her Arcana card, the Hierophant.
Hierophant, yeah.
Yeah, the Hierophant, yeah.
So, we're almost done with the recap. So, after the party had this harrowing experience in Durst Manor, they retired into the inn again. Rickett suddenly collapsed in the middle of the night, and this was during the Death March, which was a sort of mob of ghosts flittering over to Castle Ravenloft, where Strahd is said to be residing. And Rickett collapsed for seemingly no reason. It's something that sort of came and went for him. And the next morning they realize Ereg isn't here, which Rickett was horrified by, because usually Ogresh stay in one place, but he left, which means something could be brewing. Or maybe there's another reason, but we don't know yet. So they meet with Ismark and Irina again. They explained what happened. Mimi helped cure Kira of any potential ramifications for being bitten by a vampire. And then they agreed to meet over by the abandoned boathouse that was on the path to Balaki. And while on their journey, they took a rest in the monoliths, which Ark actually had a bit of a vision from his past not too long ago, while they were passing by it the first time. So it was in this place where they were totally safe. Nothing could get in, and there's this magic about it that has this protective aura. And Sugash basically gave everyone the lowdown on what he read about Strahd's history. And if Sugash could sum it up one way, if you'd like to go ahead.
So to sum it up one way, Strahd is an incel.
Kira has an incel chasing after her ass.
She had the bite mark to prove it.
Yes. He absolutely is an incel, which, honestly, given the fact that he implied that he was also a warlord before he became a vampire, doesn't really spell good things for the party. So,
Yep.
That's sort of why Sugash and Kedrat are hoping to find a library so they can do some research on Strahd. And then they took a look at the windmill, which was sort of, sad and sort of in disrepair. And just before they left town, I failed to mention, before they left the town of Barovia, Corey actually picked up what is known as a hope pie, or dream pastry, as players of Curse of Strahd would know it better as. So they get the idea to send Rickett on a scouting mission to enter the windmill, see what's what, because he was warned by Erig in a letter, don't try the pies. So, to his surprise and utter shock, the secret ingredient of these hope or dream pies, human flesh. They had someone rigged up to some chains, and kind of like Prometheus in Greek mythology, where a bird would eat his liver and it would regenerate in order for it to eat it again. That's what these night hags are doing, masquerading as old women and selling these pies to people, which have more or less drug-like qualities to them. They give you a lot of benefits, but if you don't keep eating them, you're gonna suffer some serious withdrawal effects. Fortunately, the party has never indulged in the pies, so we wouldn't know what they did because, yeah. But Rickett chose violence, and an encounter ensued. And it went on for 5 rounds. Yeah.
In my defense, generally cutting something's throat makes it hard for that thing to, be alive.
Yes,
yeah.
But even then, the altercation went on, and then the matriarch of the hags went on her way home. So it wasn't they weren't here's the thing about night hags, what makes them really nasty. If all of the hags are together, that's considered a coven. As it stands, 2 of them are powerful enough to stand up against the party, but get all 3 of them together, their challenge rating increases, and they also get more powerful. So the party's kind of in trouble right now, and they have 2 hostages to take care of. So that's where we left off.
But luckily, I have a plan.
Yeah, but we'll worry about that next time. And what you call it? Thank you, Mr. Maniac, for the $5 Canadian donation. I did see that. I just didn't want to interrupt Jordan's recapping, but thank you.
Yeah. But speaking of recaps, we are done. I would still recommend watching the VODs anyway, because, my god, I'm having so much fun running this campaign.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's my first time running a module, but, hiccups aside, I'm really happy to be running this for you guys. Although I will say it is a bit of a challenge running a game for 7 people. I definitely have mad respect for Matthew Mercer for doing it consistently.
Right.
And, yeah.
Alrighty.
I mean, I know I have a friend in another chat who is currently watching through Jordan's previous campaign, through all of the stuff. Don't me. We all enjoyed that.
I'm eating myself because I was a different DM compared to now.
Well, you're not allowed to do that either. I said so.
Alrighty.
But yeah, I guess this transitions into our next point. Some of you may have heard of us talk about this, but the Abode was our first campaign, and actually Danny and Brian's first experiences with Dungeons and Dragons. And it was also my first experience as the Dungeon Master, which honestly I kind of threw myself headlong into the process. I learned a lot by doing it, but if I learned anything from it, it's that despite the little mistakes and misrulings that have happened over the campaign, the Abode was a lot of fun. It's easily one of my favorite experiences, honestly, in my whole life.
It was a nice casual entrance for people like me and Danny to get into D&D.
Yeah, it's like, yeah. Imagine if our first experience, Brian, was Curse of Strahd.
No, imagine if our first experience was Tomb of Annihilation.
Oh gosh.
No.
Yeah, that would have been like...
No, Tomb of Horror you're thinking of.
Yeah, but either way.
I think Tomb of Annihilation is the good one, but yes.
Yes, it's the good one. Tomb of Horrors is no, never play it. I'm telling you all right now.
Never play Tomb of Annihilation. Do not do it.
No.
But if I could recommend a good module, I would recommend Curse of Strahd, even though it would be hard. I would recommend Waterdeep Dragon Heist. That's a
Waterdeep Dragon Heist is a really good one. I want that so bad.
And if you want a more piratey theme, what Ghost of Stalmesh, I think it's called.
Saltmarsh. Ghost of Saltmarsh.
Yeah, Ghost of Saltmarsh. That's a good one too.
Which honestly, I think I need to pick up that book too, because it would be really good research for the Abode. So going back to the Abode, it was supposed to be a nautical adventure when I thought about it, but then there were some things like we didn't really fight any serious pirate villains. There's only one, and it ties into Boone's character's backstory. But we were talking about it, and we thought, well, seeing as it's been on hiatus for so long, I think after Curse of Strahd, or possibly after some one-shots, we don't know yet, depending on how Curse of Strahd ends, we were thinking of reviving the Abode, and, you know, we'll just have a regular game on this channel, the Spiffy Needle Geeks. So,
yeah. So basically, we do have plans after Curse of Strahd.
Yeah, and since
there's also plans for the future of me running shit.
Yeah. So
as well.
yeah. So for all we know, we may end up having 2 campaigns on here. So who knows?
Yeah, but main thing too is we have a lot to get through yet with Curse of Strahd, but the future is looking really bright. Although TP did raise a really, really good question when we were talking about it on one of my art streams over on Twitch. The Kooky Celtic, if you want to check out more of this madman who's talking right now.
Plug.
But TP brought up a good question, and he said, well, it's going to be really confusing for people who have never seen the Abode campaign jumping into this one, and he was totally right. So I was thinking that we could do a bit of a recap animatic, talking about what went on in the Abode campaign, and then we can just that'll be people's gateway to know what to expect, and then to help them catch up, really quickly on the history of this ragtag group of adventurers before we thrust them headlong into this new one.
This time with me in it.
Yeah, since we love Jen so much so far in this campaign, we decided, hey, why don't we have you tag along as not only another player, but also a bit of an audience surrogate.
I am a tiny bard.
Yeah.
But what?
So no horny
I
bard.
I wouldn't talk too much about our characters, but there's gonna be a lot of changes, but I'm really excited for the future.
Yeah. So suffice to say, we've got plans. Actually, I guess you know, while we're talking, I think, you know what, I think this would make for something interesting. How about we all just kind of go round table and we just actually just take some time and we talk about our characters, like, you know,
I'm all for it.
yeah, like, you know, that way we all get a chance to talk, and we could talk about things like character inspiration, how the character may have changed from the beginning to now, how you're playing them, whatever.
So,
Really quickly, Jordan, look at the
What?
chat.
yeah,
Yeah, I see it.
Sarah Dust is asking for hot dogs and sausages.
Hot dogs on sausages. 5
That's
silver. Same
for the
thing.
record. That's the friend of mine that's been watching through the abode, by the way.
Hi. But on to that point, real quick. Frankfurt, who is a character of mine, he's a lizard man hot dog and sausage vendor. He's been traumatized by buns because they killed his family because they were moldy, and ever since the abode, he's sort of been a party staple. Like, he's been in all of our campaigns so far as a running gag. And I love him.
We all
I think we've only done the whole buns thing. How many times have we done buns?
Since you guys were in the dwarf island in the abode, I think that's when it started.
Okay, because I didn't know
was
if
the one
we
who
did.
came up with it, but yeah.
I didn't know if there was anything we did with buns back then. I just know that Mimi did ask about them in this one.
And yeah, she nearly died for it until the party basically talked Frank down. And then Mimi offered to purchase some hot dogs and sausages, and he's like,
Okay.
And
5
this
silver.
is the-
Same thing.
and this is the first time I've ever encountered quote unquote with Frank.
one hell of a first impression, wouldn't you say?
I loved it.
Yeah, you nearly killed the one that everyone said they would freaking kill another
Oh,
person.
as I said, Jordan Carroll, Frank hates buns because his parents ate some moldy buns and they died from food poisoning. He was the only survivor.
So basically, it's just that that meme from Trolls, like, because buns killed my grandma. Okay.
Because buns killed my grandma, okay?
Leave me alone.
Please.
But yeah,
Okay. I think we've went on long enough about Frank. I'm really sorry, Danny.
No problem. Alright, so I guess, yeah, so we can just, kind of go round table, talk about our characters a little bit. I mean, I'm trying to think, do we want to, let's just go by, what we have here, like, on the screen for, displaying our characters. So, how about we start with, let's get Jen out of the way first, that way, get your talking points in and then continue resting.
Yeah, for better or worse, Kira is sort of our inciting reason for why Curse of Strahd started happening.
Yeah.
we'll talk about that after Kira.
Yeah.
Well, we're talking about Kira now.
Yeah.
Well,
So
we'll
it's
talk about.
part of the point.
Okay.
Yeah.
Come on, Loki.
Okay.
Come on.
Hi, buddy.
Okay, so if you'd like to explain a little bit about your character, not everything,
Alright.
but just enough.
I'm good.
Alrighty, so
Not really, no.
I've always been.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
I've always been fascinated with the warlocks. And at first I wanted to say Kira started out as a sorceress first, then warlock, but I decided, you know what? Warlocks are cooler. And I've been fascinated with also this character named Marisa Kirasame from Toho. Hence, Kira looks almost exactly like her. But Kira is a princess from the land of Virtus Lenore. She basically became a very sneaky princess as well. I'm not allowed to reveal too much of her backstory, but let's just say part of her backstory is what's gonna save the party a little bit. But anyway, so Kira falls in love with this peasant man named Taka, who has, she just fell for his charm, because he was treated her like a normal human and not like a princess.
No, Kira's not the protagonist. She's one of the protagonists. You're all the heroes.
Yeah, we're all the heroes.
One person is more important than the other.
Yeah, D&D is never about, one player specifically.
Yeah, and to be harsh real quick, if someone were to have main character syndrome, I would have them thrown out of the table, because, that's not a good attitude to have for D&D. It's a cooperative storytelling experience.
Right.
It's not about you, it's about us.
So, I was thinking about this, and I'm like, how could I interpret the warlock, and also having Kira to be this very caring, loving person? And I was looking up the Celestial Warlock. Well, it sounded like a good thing to start building Kira on, is that she makes a pact with her patron god, Bahamut. And I'm building her to be more of a supportive role, kind of like Mimi, except, with buffs and backup healing, in case if Mimi runs out of spell slots or something. But, yeah. Kira's whole thing is that she needed to run away from home from her father, because her father was planning on marrying her off to some prince in the Desert Kingdom, and she wanted to be with Taka. Hence, she ended up with the party, and, it's like, oh, you know what? At least until her dragon blood wakes up. So, yeah.
And you may notice that both she and Corey, I guess I can talk in Corey's stead.
Because sadly we do not have Corey with us tonight. She's busy with other things.
Yes. So, unless we have anything more to talk about, we can transition into this next character.
Yeah, go on ahead.
Okay. So, you may notice that Corey and Kira have two classes. This is what's known as a multi-class. You essentially, if you meet the prerequisites upon leveling up, or even during character creation, depending, since these guys started at level 3, Kira and Corey both started with levels in Warlock and a level in Sorcerer. So they're both sort of doing the reverse of each other. So, Kira, from the looks of it, I know you said you wanted to do more Sorcerer compared to Warlock. Is that right?
No, I want to
do
the
reverse.
Yeah, it's the reverse. I want to do more Warlock than Sorcerer.
Yeah, which is why you're Warlock 3 and Sorcerer 1. But in the end, they're level 4 characters.
We play off of each other.
Yeah, but the main thing about Corey is she's a sorcerer more than she's a warlock. And she's another one of Kira's childhood friends. She's a little kobold who was once a soldier who fought against the Charniel Kingdom in the honor of Virtus Lenore. She's always been Kira's a bit of a caretaker. She always thought of her best interests, and in the war, she lost her horn, as you can see. And the thing about her is that, because she's focused so much of her life on Kira, and because her kingdom had her do all of these things for them. She's kind of been cheated out of her childhood, so to speak. So she's an adult in kobold years, but in human years, Corey is the youngest member of our party. She's 11 years old. And with everything that has happened to her, Corey's biggest thing is trying to find her own way in life. You know, still being Kira's friend, but finding a way to stand amongst herself. And one of these things is that she is a really, really good talker. She, when coming up with her character, wanted to be more of the party diplomat, so, of course, the biggest challenge is making sure she gets to, pick the diplomatic approach, because, the thing about D&D is that everyone has their own ideas, and sometimes I have to step in and go, okay, let this character speak first. We'll get to you soon. And because we're online, we have this sort of system in play where, well, that we employed in the most recent session, is where everyone has a show of hands, and whoever is the priority speaker gets to, you know, roleplay until their turn is done. And whenever someone wants to add to it, they say something in the chat, hey, I'd like to say something, and then I would give them a go-ahead if it's appropriate. So, Corey is sweet. I really like her. And I guess with that said, we can move on to Ricket, if you're still here.
I'm still here. Hello.
Hello. So, yeah, anything about Ricket, like inspiration or whatnot?
Sorry, Ricket Manor.
Ricket is... I prefer to refer to him, if it's inspiration, as a product of grief and the monstrous nature of the Fae themselves. His design was really just, what would happen if instead of a baby, what if the Fae took a child, someone around the age of 12, and that creation then had to live knowing that the family had already grown to love the child that they had replaced. And when I decided to make him disembodied, I thought of what would happen if a character never knew how long they'd stay somewhere, and decided that Ricket would be a world hopper that teleported against his will and never stayed in a place for more than a couple years. So he'd have time to build friendships, only to disappear and lose everything. An endless cycle of loss that's left him rather blasé and unresponsive to emotional connection. And I find that really fun, because it gives the opportunity for you guys, the other players, to try and work that down and figure out exactly why he doesn't want to open up. There are a few secrets that will most likely be revealed down the line. I'm not going to say anything here, but oh boy, I can't wait for it.
And this is the kind of thing that we've come to expect with Letter here. Not only is his roleplay top-notch, but he's probably one of the most knowledgeable people in D&D I've ever met. If you like Ricket, then you would definitely love his character in the Abode. Rags, he was a necromancer, a Warforged necromancer, and he was basically a necromantic Pokemon trainer.
What happens when a robot who knows how to raise the dead decides he wants to build an army of monsters? Is anybody going to stand in his way?
Not even the DM can do it. Trust me, I've tried.
I mean, you did with elephants.
That was the one. That was one time. Yeah, the twerking elephants. I almost forgot.
What the? Oh yeah.
Okay,
that.
context. Yeah. So, for those of you unaware, which would be most of you at this point, except most of us in the party, save Kira, there was a time when Rags bought some
immovable rods.
Immovable rods. But here's the thing. He sharpened them in preparation for, if he does use them, he could use them to, I don't know, maybe restrain someone or any other macabre means of dealing with a threat. Or maybe just holding something up. But anyway, I later learned, hold on, that could actually spell trouble later down the line. And I'm like, you know what? Fuck that. I'm gonna exercise my DM muscles. And then, while they were out at sea, I asked Rags to, I think, make a perception check. I don't remember the exact rules, but he found 3 surfing elephants coming straight towards him. They, throttled the immovable rods out of his bag. They started breaking the immovable rods down to nothing, and then they just fucked off. While he's just left to drift away in the sea.
Oh yeah, spoilers for you, Sarah. Oops, sorry. I didn't see you were still in the chat.
Yeah, it's like a one-time thing, but just be prepared if you find that moment. Oops.
The main reason why you...
apparently I'm being echoed?
Who's echoing? That's a question.
Okay.
Hello? I me.
Hello?
Wait a minute, hang on.
Okay. Yes, I'm sorry. I had to step out, so I had to put my headphones down. So for all I know, the microphone was picking up the headphones.
I wasn't getting that.
Also, yes,
I didn't
Letter is
hear
a...
any echoes anyways. So...
But yes, Letter is a good role player because we did something really cute in private.
I can actually give an explanation as to why Jordan decided to destroy the immovable rods. It's because each rod can withstand 1,000 pounds of force, of weight on it. I had 8.
Oh lord.
And you were gonna make them into movable daggers.
I did sharpen them into immovable daggers, which...
Okay, I don't know if this fixed anything, but I fiddled with my voice settings.
Okay, we figured it might have been Danny actually because Danny did have her things.
Yeah. I was like, I'm sorry about that. I had to step out, so.
Okay.
We're just talking about the we were actually talking about the immovable rod thing while you were gone.
Yeah. Well, I already finished the story, so
I was explaining why it's so powerful.
Yeah.
Because, again, 1,000 pounds of force.
Mm-hmm.
Immovable daggers. Crucifixion in midair. They would have made great torture devices. As Sarah Dust would probably already have figured out, Rags is incredibly mean.
Yeah. And then that was the moment I was like, you know what? No. I'm the dungeon master, you're not. So, I mean, it was mostly in good fun. It was, partially balancing, mostly fun, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now I just have to worry about the random surfing elephants.
Yeah. It also helped that at the time, me and Jordan were being introduced to Revolutionary Girl Utena, which is where that reference came from.
Yeah, we were watching Utena during the time, so I was like, you know what? I'm gonna throw surfing elephants in there.
Please watch.
Thanks, Danny.
Please watch.
Thanks, Danny.
Please watch Revolutionary Girl Utena. You can watch it both subbed and dubbed on YouTube for free.
I highly recommend it. It's a great show. And I think we pretty much explained what we could explain with Riggit for now. So,
How about Big
Boonslayer.
Without revealing too much about the plan.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Boonslayer, talk about the Belmondo, please.
So, to talk about the Belmondo, I have to talk about him before he was the Belmondo. Because the original concept for the character was very mechanical in nature. It was, like, the first thing I came up with was Kensei Monk, Whip. I came up with the idea of him being a pit fighter. I think he was originally, like, there was a point where I, like, randomly rolled for characters, and I was going to do a thing for D&D December with that. I decided not to do it, but I kept some of the characters, and I think he was originally rolled up that way. And I thought he was cool, so I kept him. He might not have been one of the ones I did that way. I might have just come up with him in a different fashion. And he was originally like a pit fighter, and it was like the style of wit fighting, etc., etc. And then we were gonna do this game, and then I'm like, you know what? I'm in the mood to play a monk. Sagash seems like a good choice. And then we realized there was a Castlevania reference to be had there, and we were originally going to make his last name Belmont, and it's like, no, better Belmondo.
Yeah, which in of itself is a reference to the Japanese version of the Belmont family, or at least a transliteration.
And the thing is, as part of that, his backstory changed as well. Now, so more a monster hunter than a pit fighter.
That's another Capcom franchise.
Hey, at least he's not a monster rancher.
Very true. And yes, that line was indeed uttered when they first met Strahd for the first time. And you must be the Belmondo.
He said it. He said the thing.
Yep, that's why we were all quiet.
Like I was gonna save it for the end of the campaign, but then I realized no, it makes more sense to do it now.
Punches
By the way,
Strahd
a
once.
small note during the campaign, during the fight against Strahd, Sugash made Strahd bleed.
Yeah, he was the only member of the party to actually draw blood.
Fitting for the Castlevania reference.
Very, very true.
I imagine what was going through Strahd's head's like, yep, he's definitely a Belmondo, because only a Belmondo would be crazy enough to punch the Lord Vampire.
Belmondo, have the wife and kids.
There is only one family who can stare at the Avatar of Darkness and throw a haymaker.
Belmondo, how you doing?
Accurate. Especially since I also taunted him.
Indeed. So you actually also managed to get under his skin.
Yeah. He was trying to get under mine, and I'm like, I know what this... And Sugash is like, I know what this game is. And then he starts getting under his skin, comes real close to crossing a certain line, and then he's like, doesn't feel good to be taunted, now does it?
It's like, you want to play that game?
And he's like, you know what? I'll take that criticism to heart.
Yeah, it's like, oh, so you want to play that game, huh? Well, I can play that game too, buddy.
Of course, if you did go a little too far, you probably would have died too. But
yeah. Oh yeah, traumatized me further.
Right.
Actually,
so,
probably Kira would have been. Actually, Kira would probably be traumatized.
So yeah. Back to the main topic at hand.
I love how your Strahd voice came out there for a little second.
Is there anything else you'd like to say, Boone, or are we good to move on to our paladin?
I think that's pretty much it.
Yeah, I mean, I know you have other plans in terms of your build, but, you know, that's up to you.
Yeah, let's keep some of that a secret.
Yeah.
I'm.
Okay, so with that said, Brian, is your character a Scorchio or a Dragonborn?
Well, before that, I want to make mention Mr. Maniac typing Sugash starts ash dancing and wave dashing. But
oh yeah, we need to
Accurate.
mention. We need to mention of all. Whenever you throw out a kick or a knee, it's always just the Falcon. It's just a Captain Falcon reference.
I mean, to be
the Belmondo punch will land. One day.
It will land one day. I will make sure of it.
Watch it lands.
If I don't, then I'm a bad dungeon master.
No,
what am I saying? I'm already a bad dungeon
fudge
master.
the roll.
Shush. No, here's what happens. You landed on on Strahd in our final battle. It hits, it lands, but he instantly dies.
And then it would be, how do you want to do this?
You see the explosion from galaxies away.
Watch, it's not gonna happen now.
No, it needs to happen.
Thanks for jinxing us. Anyway, now, back on track, please.
Okay.
Explain Hedrot.
Okay, so I typically have a thing when it comes to the characters that I made. A lot of my D&D characters are typically characters that I personally have made for something else entirely. Like for the Abode, I had Riona from my manga as a character. There was a one-shot that me, Danny, TP, and Jordan did privately for Dandy to get into a shot with DMing, and he kind of carried the whole fucking one-shot.
He kind of did, yeah.
And that's why I don't use it anymore. I'm like, I can't do it even when we nerf him, he's too broken.
I mean, yeah. Even
then,
then, it's kind of his thing.
Yeah. And for this, Curse of Strahd is no exception, except it's more so based off of, it's actually based off of a Neopet that I have by the name of Kedra, who is a Scorchio, which is a dragon-type species. And I decided, since he looked very much like a paladin and whatnot, I'm like, you know what, sure. And the thing, too, is, like, all the pets that I've made, I've had some kind of a background around them. Kedra was kind of the most basic of the 6 that I had. And I'm like, you know what, this is kind of my main guy. I kind of want to add a bit more character to him. So I thought, sure, let's make him a paladin here. And also because there seems to be a run-on gag with the site where Illison keeps constantly giving me money.
Yeah, okay, let him talk.
Because I keep getting the random event where Illison just randomly gives me money. We basically came with the idea, what if Illison was Kedrat's patron goddess? And I'm like, you know what? Let's do that. That'll be great. And that is why Illison simps for Kedrat.
Yeah, and actually, again, Illison is the reason why he survived death.
Yeah.
Does Illison simp for Kedrat, or does Kedrat simp for Illison?
Illison definitely sims for Kedrat.
Yeah, Illison. The thing is,
the answer is just yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
actually, the thing is, I was originally having the idea of, like, Kedra more so being, like, he's accepting of the feelings, but he doesn't exactly kind of get the hint. Like, it's one of those things where he's like, I do respect your feelings, but, like, he doesn't necessarily return them exactly.
I was gonna say,
Not yet.
Is he, in that regard, is he a himbo?
yes.
No, because
no, he's not stupid, for one thing.
Because that's the one thing about himbos. You got to be stupid to be a himbo.
Yeah, and secondly, let him explain.
Yeah, because, like, Kedrat's not a dum-dum. In fact, if I look at his IQ stat here, it's 646. Boy reads his books. But, like, I started trying to think about what kind of a personality I wanted Kedrat to kind of have, because, like, I didn't want Kedrat to just simply be the typical, oh, I'm super heroic and noble good kind of paladin that, you typically see, and people get sick and tired of seeing that.
Mostly the lawful stupid variety. It's where, I worship the god of holy light! I hope I don't constantly disagree with the party!
Yeah, and so I started thinking, what kind of a way could I take Kedra in? Where it's like, not only could I be capable of showing off his intelligence, but still make him capable of still following his belief in Illison, while not being a complete stick in the mud to the rest of the party. And then I thought of the genius idea. I'm going to make him Escanor. Basically super confident, super confident, very hard to really kind of get him into a downward spiral, like doubting himself, and basically just very prideful. But like, not so much prideful to the point where you think he's arrogant, because here's the thing about Kedra, it's like, you can, because it's like, yeah, Strahd looked at the guy at first and say, you are such an arrogant prick. And the thing about Kedra is that it's not that he's arrogant. He just simply speaks the truth.
Okay. It's like, not for nothing, like, I always got this impression, I don't know if this was an inspiration for Kedrot or not, but especially like the moment when Kedrot and Mimi were talking, I swear I was getting Guts vibes from Kedrot.
And to be fair, he was doing sword exercises like Guts, but it's like, again, that's just the other thing too, like, and honestly, I feel like that's something that makes the moment feel even more impactful as well, because, yeah, Kedra is sitting here praising Mimi for her efforts as a cleric, and because, yeah, he's the guy who says, I'm not arrogant, I just speak the truth. Everything he said to Mimi, he 100% thinks that.
And we'll get to Mimi very, very soon for why she's so soft-spoken, but that moment definitely helped Mimi.
Yeah, it's like, Kedra may be prideful, but he also does know, like, when to be humble.
Which actually makes him the perfect subject for another Grim Hollow mechanic that we brought in. He has been incorporated with a Fey transformation.
Hey, remember the part where we said that Kedra died?
Yeah, in order for him to transform, he had to die.
Yeah, it's like, were you killed? Sadly, yes, but I lived.
Very true. And now he has some pretty cool perks with his transformation.
Yeah, the whole transformation thing is a Grim Hollow thing.
Mm-hmm. And specifically with the court that he chose, the Summer Court, as a bonus action, he can essentially set his foes on fire.
Yeah, I can teleport, and anything I see that is 5 feet, that is like 5 feet close to me, if I look at it, it takes fire damage.
Yeah, equal to your charisma modifier, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yes, this is another Neopets reference.
Yeah, well, not necessarily.
No, I don't think that's that, though.
Yeah, not necessarily.
The transformation, like the part that the wings.
Yeah, well, yeah, because he's a fire Scorchio on the side, and Scorchios have like wings made of fire.
Yeah, and the point, well, this is a homebrew element, but Kedra, without his transformation, didn't have wings to start. But then after he transformed, I homebrewed it to where, hey, why don't we give you your wings back, Kedrot?
Yeah,
so now he has a flying speed equal to our next party member, unless you have something else to say.
I don't really have much more to say on that. Just I think I got Kedrot across, well enough.
All right, so our host and our barbarian / fighter.
Our big burb dad.
if you'd like to introduce yourself.
Alrighty, so where the fuck do I begin with Ark? Because about the whole memory thing, I believe I've mentioned this before, but for those who haven't been keeping up with it, so Ark is basically your resident character that he does not have memories of his past, and that's his big motivation for being on this adventure. The thing is, I don't even know what it is. When I was creating...
I do.
Yeah, when I was creating Arc, like, Jordan and I were just kind of spitballing ideas, and I gave him, like, some breadcrumbs, like, okay, I'm thinking this is more or less the base for what happened, and I just gave it to him, and I told him, do what you want with it. So, I personally know at least the bare bones of why Ark is the way he is. But some of these other details, I did not come up with. Like, this character that is now, like, a central figure in his past. This woman named Vasilka. That's not my creation. That's Jordan's. We purposefully did this solely to, you know, keep me in the dark as well. So it's like... So when Ark's getting new information, this is new information for me too. So these are going to be more genuine reactions rather than scripted. So we purposefully did that this way. So I have no idea what Jordan has planned for Ark. So, you know, I mean, I'm interested, but I have no idea. But as far as character, ultimately, I decided to go down the barbarian route because when I was looking at whom we were already bringing into the party, I was like, okay, we have a lot. We've got the rogue, we've got a cleric, we've got a monk, we've got some spell slingers. You know, we probably need some more frontline fighters. And admittedly, I don't have a lot of experience playing frontline fighters. So I was like, why not? I'll give it a try. And that's why I picked the barbarian route. And when Jordan gave us the option to look at the Grim Hollow, one of the subclasses for the barbarian is the fractured barbarian, and that is where it's like, yeah, you're literally becoming like the Incredible Hulk. Your body starts to like swell up and, you know, bulge out and shit, and that's the bulk of your power. And I was like, okay, I like that concept.
Bird up.
Yeah, so yeah, bird up. That's pretty much become like, you know, critical role goes, you know, I would like to rage, I go bird up.
Yeah. Which Kira did also start, but you know what? It stuck.
Yeah, it stuck. So we're going with it. But yeah, so that, I guess mechanically, and I've decided to multi-class into fighter just to give myself some more options on being able to, like, more fighting options, because, like, I'm not giving Ark any magic or anything. He is going to be pure brute force. So that's ultimately where I'm going with him. But, I guess as far as character goes, initially, I actually did want to play Ark a little bit more serious and maybe a little bit more threatening, because I wanted to play the angle where, okay, yeah, he has questions, he's trying to find, you know, his answers to his past and such, and he's aware of, you know, he doesn't know why he can just Hulk the fuck out. But I didn't want to play down the angle of, you know, oh my god, I'm a monster, woe is me, why did this happen to me? I did not want to take Ark down that route. That is so fucking overplayed. So I wanted to play more the route of, he's long since accepted that he's more or less he's a monstrous freak, but he's accepted it, and goddamn it, he's gonna wear that like, you know, he's gonna wear that like a fucking badge of honor. He's very prideful of his strength. So I actually just recently showed Brian and Jordan the Dark Crystal Age of Resistance, because I was thinking, okay, if I'm gonna play Ark more serious, I'm thinking like a serious monster. I'm thinking he's gonna be more kind of like the Skeksis. Yep. Granted, that did not happen.
Not really, no.
No, because by the second session, he's become the dork. Like, yeah, you were talking about, who's the himbo of the group? Ark kind of became the himbo of the group.
Yeah. some of the best jokes that Ark has is just dry humor, and it's so fucking good. If you want to thank someone for the nickname that we gave Strahd, look no further than Ark.
Right. That's like the dry deadpan sense of humor. Like that was not my intention when I created Ark. That just kind of happened, and I'm like, I love this, so I'm gonna keep it going. So yeah, originally Ark was supposed to be a lot more serious, and he's kind of, and don't get me wrong, he has his serious moments, but when we're not having the serious moments, he's the big dork dad of the group. It's like, did not intend for that to happen, but alas, it did.
He may not have ended up being like a Skeksis, but in terms of real world inspirations, would you like to share that?
Yes, so technically the race that he is known as an Aarakocra, but for those of you, that's just it's bird folk. That's really what it is. Mm-hmm. And people like to flavor their bird folk. So I've seen people make, like, okay, you're an Aarakocra, but you're based on an owl. Or you're based on a peacock. Or a flamingo, or whatever the fuck. You flavor it however the hell you want. So, for Curse of Strahd, it's like, okay, what are some of the common horror birds, like horror-related birds? Crows and ravens, but those are their own separate races, believe it or not. There actually is, like, I think they're called the Kenku, and those are more based off of crows, I believe. And it's like, I'm not playing Kenku. That's a whole different thing. And
my shit anyway.
Yeah, so as I was thinking, I was like, you know what? How about a vulture? That'd be pretty cool. I was doing Google search on, okay, I know there's different types of vultures, but what kind? And that's when I came across what is known as the bearded vulture. And bearded vultures are fucking metal.
Mm-hmm.
They are
vultures are metal.
They are. It's like,
serious.
I mean, not for nothing. I mean, like, I've seen, like, like, looking up, like, I was even looking up videos on YouTube, like, not for nothing, I actually think bearded vultures are actually quite beautiful with their big fluffy plumage and stuff, so it's like, lots of whites, browns, maybe a little dash of, like, like, copper reds, so it's like, I think they're actually really pretty, but what makes a bearded vulture so fucking metal, their diet is bones. So they don't eat the meat like every other vulture. They eat off of bones and bone marrow. I mean, like, if they come across, like, a skull and it's too big for them to swallow, they'll pick it up, fly into the air, and drop it on a rock to crack it into pieces to eat. That's just so fucking badass. So it's just like, and hence why I'm like, okay, this is too badass not to pass up. So hence why Ark is based off of a bearded vulture.
Yeah. And it's funny because, Danny, the Casual Geographic did make a video about the bearded vulture.
Oh, did they now?
Yeah, like there was a small segment that the guy made about the bearded vulture, and he does talk about how they only eat bones, and that sometimes they'll drop bones from the sky to break them. And if they happen to hit somebody and kill them because they drop the bones off of such a high height, that's just a bonus meal to them.
Yeah. So it's like, I swear, like, one of these days, like, I know Ark has had a couple of the, how do you want to do these finishers, and I always go for something flashy or something. One of these days, I'm just gonna have Ark pick somebody up, fly into the sky, and drop them.
That would be the perfect way to kill someone.
Yeah, like, it's gonna happen at some point.
That being said,
especially if you do it on a particular assholey person.
Yeah.
That being said, though, one of my favorite how do you want to do this is when Kedrat just kept throwing guys to Ark, and he just go off.
Done.
Yeah, like Ark literally had like an Incredible Hulk moment, and he's just like low-key slammed like 3 guys in a row.
Oh yeah, those were the shadows, right?
Yeah.
I helped.
I mean, of course, it did ruin the floor in Ricketts, demonic neat wine cellar, but
I fixed it. Don't worry.
Yeah,
it was worth it.
And then the house died.
And then the house died.
Actually, technically speaking, is it still safe to go back in the house now, or is it?
It's not.
You don't know. You don't know.
Yeah, but But yeah, I think that's more or less Arc in a nutshell. Like, again, it's kind of, in a way, it's kind of hard to talk about him just because I'm playing off of the whole, mysterious past angle, and I don't even know all the details. So it's like, I will say it's very weird playing this kind of character, because it's like, because everybody else, it's like, they actually, they have a base for where their character is coming from, like a backstory, a past. They have a base, and I gotta focus more on, like, Arc's more focused on the present, and that's how I have to play it that way, and it's very different compared to, like, any other character that I've played before, but I think suffice it to say, like, and these guys have seen me play all different kinds of characters and other one-shots and such, and it's like, right now, I can safely say Arc is my favorite character that I've ever played. I am loving this.
I would agree with
I am
that.
loving this guy.
Yeah, freaking. I love the fact that like in the side things we had is like, yo, Arc, would you like to be my captain of the guard, or would you like to be my new warden?
Yeah, and like Arc's answer, who do you want to break first?
How about my asshole dad?
And bird smirk. Yeah, it's like actually it's like I guess before we move on to Mimikyu, I think maybe there's like one other thing that I don't know if maybe I've gotten this across, maybe not so much, but I think maybe this is something I'll work towards. But so when we were doing the character creations, like, how you have, like, traits, your ideals, your flaws, all that other stuff, like one thing that I know I definitely want to try, I want to get across more, and maybe this is something I personally feel I haven't gotten across with Arc, is if there's anything that Arc values outside of his own personal strength, it is truth. Because he's like, I want to know the truth of what's happened. So he hates secrets. So that's why he's so fucking annoyed with Strahd and, this voice in his head that is saying, oh, come here and I'll give you the answers. And Arc's like, just fucking tell me now. So it's like, yeah, he hates the fact that there's information that's being kept from him. He does want to know the truth. And I think that might also kind of help contribute why he's really started to connect with Kedrot recently. Like, especially in the last session, where Arc actually did open up to Kedrot about, after the encounter with Strahd, and how Strahd literally just, like, air juggled his candy ass like it was fucking nothing. And he's like, I feel weak. I value my strength, but now I actually feel weak. And I can tell you right now, he would never have opened up like that to, like, Corey, to Kira, to Mimi, because I don't think they'd be able to understand. But Kedrot was someone he could open up to. And just like how Brian said, where, like, if Kedrot speaks the truth, that definitely is going to be something Arc will appreciate. Because, again, like, don't fucking lie to me, be honest.
Yeah.
So, that whole...
Oh, so Arc would be the type to say what Mr. Maniac just typed.
What did he say? What?
I had chest of goose!
Oh, okay, that's where okay, yeah, I just saw that. That's where it's like...
It's from Spider-Man.
Okay, that's where I was about to say, like, what? Y'all ready for this Space Jam theme?
Yeah, no, it's like, yeah, I hate Chase of Goose. Hey,
Yeah, I hate Chase of Goose.
Can Danny steal that?
Arc goes out hunting, finds a goose.
It's like...
I think,
Yeah, but I think that's more or less Arc in a nutshell. I think, like, if anything, that's maybe, like, the one part of Arc maybe I can help bring out a little bit more is the fact that he hates secrets and he hates lying. But, I imagine that'll come, a little bit further along.
Yeah. Okay. So...
I think...
Mimi, go ahead.
I was gonna say really. Okay, first off, let me roll to speak.
Okay.
Okay. I have a problem. I rolled a nat 1.
You're the only one who rolled, so I'll let you have this.
Okay. First off, there's actually something I don't think you touched upon much, because I think you brought it up when we were creating the character. Because Did we bring up this fact the whole thing of actually would it be a spoiler to bring it up? The whole
I don't know. What are you bringing up?
Yeah, just tell us.
I just wrote down in our thing.
Do not bring that up. No.
Don't talk.
No,
don't talk. Shut the fuck up.
That's
Okay.
I didn't even know about
that.
What the crap?
That's some spoiler territory. So
no one say anything. No one.
Yeah. So yeah.
I have no intention on doing that because I've got my own secrets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just knew that
Yeah,
that
it's
was
like-
one of the things that was done with the character creation.
You know,
I'm not gonna say it anymore.
Yeah. That's one of the things that I actually am aware of. That I'm saying. Yeah.
I hope you're aware of your character.
Yeah. So I mean, it's like that is one of the secrets that I do know of Ark's backstory.
Okay.
But we'll get
Had a mini heart attack there.
Again, we will get.
It's. I was gonna say. It's fun. I was just saying it's funny because you have that secret, but then again, I don't think your character is as aware of that secret. Maybe I don't know. So
yeah. So let's move on. Let's move on to your character before you say anything else.
We'll move on.
Okay. So in keeping with us, Boone's theme of basing your character around something, you bet you can't tell. What mine is based off of.
Yeah, TP has a tendency that when he makes his characters, he bases all of his characters off of Pokemon.
This one is no exception.
Every single one.
This isn't an exception. No, this is the.
I said this is no exception. That's not the same thing as an exception.
Oh, I know. Oh, no, this is not just. No, except this is the example. This is the first one I created, actually.
Mimi is your longest. Is probably one of your longest standing characters so far.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh really?
Yeah. Boone would know her probably the most because I create my first campaign. I created her for a game, and Boone was a part of it.
Yep.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
It's also funny because we also fought a gibbering mouther in that campaign, so.
Yeah, so that's like...
It's just really funny. But no, the idea behind it was I remember when
Shannon's already got it.
Yeah. Okay, so the thing is, when I was initially invited to a campaign, I saw the group of people we had, the classes. I was not familiar with a ton of them, but all I knew is there wasn't a cleric on the team, and this is 2017, by the way. I like to stress this because this is coming off of a kind of like an Overwatch phase, and I knew that each team need to have a team healer. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to deny that. So it's something that, if nothing else, that like hammered into my head. So I decided to go with a cleric. I decided I didn't know what I wanted to base my thing off of. I asked my DM at the time, what can I make my character based on? And she said, you can make it off of anything. So I looked around my room, saw the various plushes of Mimikyu I had in there, and I decided, okay, let's look at the races and stuff. And I saw tieflings because... Tieflings is one of the last ones I saw because we were using like just the regular player handbook at the time, I believe. And
you were just using the standard player's handbook.
It was 2017, okay?
Yeah,
I know. I wasn't
Ultimate
judging.
was out at the time.
No, I wasn't judging. I was just clarifying, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nothing
wrong with that.
And I remember reading something like how they were shunned a lot based off of because of some, basically because of like how they looked or something akin to that. And I thought that fits. That really fit because for those who aren't aware, in Pokemon lore, the the actual Mimikyu is not the rags that make it look like a Pikachu. It's actually the little thing underneath it, but it's apparently you can look at it because apparently looking at it curses everything. So what it does is it wears a disguise, and it bases itself off of Pikachu because it wants to be popular. Blah blah blah. I thought that was probably the best fit because I saw a race that was also judged for their appearance pretty harshly, so I figured that was like the closest thing to a 1-to-1, Not to mention, as I figured out, clerics can learn plenty of fire-based spells, so mimic ghost types can learn like Will-O-Wisp, so close enough. I brought her for this campaign, I think, again, because though I was more familiar, you said it worked with the, you, Jordan, said it worked with the Gothic setting.
Mm-hmm.
And although we already had a Belmondo here, there's another interesting tidbit that I feel worked.
This goes back to that one-shot Danny had for us.
Yeah, because I don't think it was that actually. I think it was it was the one shot that Brian ran.
Was it?
The one where you got a whip and became a Belmont.
That's right.
Yes.
Yeah,
where I got a genuine whip and I got. Yeah, so I figured that also fits. So all the pieces just kind of came together.
Oh, who did I play in the one that Brian ran? Because wasn't I in that one?
You're in one of them.
Yeah, it wasn't the heist one, is it? Oh, it was the Nightmare Gauntlet.
It was the Gauntlet.
Yeah.
I played Talmaro.
Yeah. In the heist campaign, in the heist one shot, I brought her and we got a whip. I chose to use the whip, and I think it also fits because certain Belmonts were I believe pretty devout in religion and often carried holy weaponry. And considering that Mimi typically dabbles in I can't remember the type of spell, but like the radiant spells, which are kind of like the closest thing to holy. There you go.
Oh, this song is creepy. I think this is Murgo's Lullaby. But yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. So all the pieces really did fit into place when bringing her in, so to speak. And I decided to have her characterized a lot. Initially, a lot of the characterization is based off of how I was very quiet when I first started. Again, more or less basing itself off of how new I was, and so I decided to go for a more intentionally reserved character. I decided to write it more along the lines of her really not, despite wanting friends and whatnot, she's very shy about it because going back to the whole tiefling thing and wanting to tie it into her and try and tie it back into her inspirations or lore. I I had her like discriminated as like when she was younger for her race, something she wasn't never had a choice in.
Mm-hmm.
So if it seems like I'm being quiet or whatever, it's oftentimes not a matter of if just in case for you, Jordan, especially if it seems like I'm being quiet.
No, don't worry.
I'm
I
not-
totally understand. It's just you characterizing Mimi.
Yeah.
So it's also for roleplay aspects.
Yeah, unless I specifically state that I'm going to BRB, and that's usually because someone is calling me.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah, no
still
worry, I get you.
trying. I'm still trying to pay attention. I do miss a couple of things here and there. Like the recap certainly helps because I'm not gonna lie. Some of these names I do not remember. Not your fault. It's more just.
Yeah. It's like, this is why we write down in our notes, kids.
Yes, exactly. Or just rewatch the VODs.
Yeah, or just rewatch the VODs.
But
I don't know. The reason why I don't rewatch VODs is because I get secondhand embarrassment from myself, but that's more of a me thing.
that's also sort of a me thing. But I try and work with it.
Yeah. Anything else about Mimi you'd like to say?
There's one other thing. I decided to go with the name because, of course, my one defining trait is liking Mimi from Digimon.
Yeah, that's another facet of your character.
All right. Oh, okay. Really quickly. Boone said they were gonna go, so you want to say bye? Bye bye.
Bye bye. We didn't even get. Oh.
Okay, now you said bye bye.
Yeah, there we go.
Okay. All right.
But yeah,
It's good.
that was all.
Oh my god, I love this song.
Yeah, that was
German the First Hunter.
Yeah, those are all just big things. Just there's some things I may want to try and also bring from the campaign I made her for, but outside of things that. But those are things I'm gonna need to talk to Jordan about first off, and
yes,
I might need
definitely.
to talk to the DM from that campaign. For reasons I'll talk to Jordan about.
All right.
But I guess if I can also use this time to really talk about things. I do appreciate I hate to be that guy, but I really am super appreciative of people calling her people being invested in her and stuff, and I'm always scared about that with her. I guess I'm sort of the same way with Lele from the Abode, but I guess the confidence that I have in that character kind of rubs off on me. Not to mention a lot of people like her looks anyway, so it doesn't. So if they are not invested in the character, they might be invested in the looks. I don't know.
Lele is pretty attractive.
But with Mimi, she's not the same. She's not a fan. She's just not really any fan service things about her. She just
Yeah, so I can't really see her in that scenario either.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. So even if one aspect of her with Lele, it's a lot harder to it's not as it's still I still want to make sure she's someone that people would want to see, but it's easier because she's attractive and she knows it, and so. But with Mimi, who has I guess this might be myself projecting onto her as well, but she has the confidence of wet tissue paper.
Oof.
So I guess it's like I'm sure everyone else here feels like the same way when people are like getting invested in your characters.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not saying this is like blah, 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 but I guess it's just something I'm thankful for. So thank not only you guys in the audience, but you guys, the players.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's always a great feeling to people to see people appreciating your character, and that's always the greatest feeling. Like even depending on the context, it's always a great feeling.
Mm-hmm. I'm sorry if I was rambling there or taking up.
No,
That's
you're
okay.
totally fine. This is what tonight's for.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's also to get everyone else who may not be familiar with the campaign to be brought up to speed.
Okay.
But again, our VODs are on this channel, so if you want to watch this campaign from beginning to end, definitely check it out.
There is a playlist.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, actually, is there a playlist?
Yes.
Hang on.
Yeah. I've been putting these sessions into the playlist.
Meanwhile,
Yeah,
me
just
and
trusting
I-
and verifying here. Ah, here it is.
Yep.
meanwhile, me collecting memes for our freaking Curse of Strahd campaign.
All right. All right. So I guess while if TP's wrapping up Mimikyu, audience, if there's any
I'm wrapped.
Yeah.
I've wrapped up.
Oh.
I think.
Okay, so yeah, audience, if there's any other random questions that you want to ask any of us,
Yeah.
you know,
Have at it.
yeah. Yeah, it's just bear in mind, Sugash has left, so sadly we do not have him, but we still
We do not.
And Corey is also not present.
and Corey's not present, but we still have Ricket, we still have Kira, and we still have me, Kedrot, and Mimi.
Also, Kira's probably gonna skull Ricket if we.
There should be a final big VOD when it's all done for the crazy people to watch it.
No,
that
that's-
would take forever to render.
I mean, our sessions are already long enough as is. Like, we do, like...
yeah, usually it's like
We do...
4 or 6 hours a pop.
Yeah, so, I mean...
5 hours.
Maybe
at most.
3.
No,
5 hours at most.
yeah, we do.
I
Yeah,
know.
yeah, we do like 5 hours. Like we start at 7 and we end at like midnight lots of times. So it's like,
No, I think there were sessions where it was 6 hours, or at least close to it.
yeah, yeah. So that's where it's like, yeah, one big massive VOD. I don't think we'd be able to handle it.
Yeah. I have a question for
What's up?
people in the call.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
guess. Whether it be trying to word it, I apologize. I'm not always the best with
It's
wording.
okay. It's okay. Take your time.
When it comes to like how your player either interacts with other characters, or whether you notice some similarities or differences with other characters, is there any that you in particular like or would want to talk about as well?
Oh, like personal interactions.
Yeah, like or just how like, are there any I guess first off, personal interactions, yeah, like.
Okay.
I think outside of the Kedron and Mimi interaction, I think my other favorite character reaction or interactions would only be I know he's not here, would be between Sugash and the Vistani.
Mm-hmm.
I remember if I can also.
Because, like, it shows that the Vistani still care. Like, they still like, yeah, they're loyal to Strahd, but they also shows that they still care about people in Barovia.
Yeah, well, more specifically, they know what he's doing is wrong, but they themselves don't condone it.
Right.
Yeah. I think, like, speaking at least as far as Ark is concerned, don't get me wrong, Ark does care for the entire party, but at least as far as, like, currently who he's closest to, right now I'd probably say he's closest to Kedrot, but then after him, honestly, probably Ricket. And I think I love the concept of big giant bird being really buddy and chummy with tiny little wooden boy. That's alone is funny. But really, I think out of everybody, like Ricket definitely, and probably Ark, they're the ones that would not hesitate to choose violence. Yeah, like, yeah, you know, yeah, like, if there was ever a time where it's like, okay, we gotta do crime, who's gonna do crime? Like, Ricket and Ark would probably be like, yeah, let's crime.
Let's do a B&E.
It's like, Ark is like, I'm driving.
Okay.
Mr. Maniac, question for me, apparently.
Yes.
Absolutely. The answer to that is absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely, because no contest that Ricket would be, in an alternate universe, would be the most likely to turn evil and betray the party. Simply because he has no connection to the worlds he goes to. He would betray them, and then a year or so later, he wouldn't even be in that world. No consequences. No reason to care.
It's like,
why
he just
not
slaughtered
betray
everyone. No one knows where he is.
Hey,
The biggest thing about Ricket is his lack of personal interaction with other characters, simply due to the kind of character he is, involuntarily hopping between worlds and likely never seeing these people again.
And he'll do it all over again, too.
Ark and Ricket pull off a Remy and Linguini.
Oh, God.
the worst part, I can see that happening.
Me too.
Yeah, probably.
He just, Ark just needs a really big togue.
Oh, yes. But it's like, I know, it's like I said, like, I definitely like Ark and Ricket's interactions. Like, the fact that Ark threw Ricket like a football into a window and actually scored. That's like, that alone is like, oh, this is gonna be fun.
This bitch empty. Yeet.
I hope Ricket doesn't turn out to be the plot twist villain, because
No, that'd be too easy.
No.
That'd be too easy. If anyone was going to turn out to be a true dangerous plot twist villain, it would either be Cory or Kira.
Cory would be the most shocking, actually.
Absolutely. Like, Cory, just this small, unassuming kobold, turns out to be like right-hand man to Strahd, the spy the entire time.
Yeah, honestly, the thing with plot twist villains is that it's usually the ones you least expect.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But then again, when it's the ones that you absolutely expect to betray you, it's also a shock, because you expected it. Why did it actually happen to them?
Yeah, it's sort of like in the ending of Batman Arkham City, where the final boss is, okay, I should have seen this coming, yet I'm still surprised.
Exactly.
Freaking Ricket takes Kira up to Strahd's castle, like, here you go, can I go now?
No.
I mean,
No.
I can tell you now, Ricket will not be a twist villain.
Yeah.
I have other plans.
alternatively, even if you did end up being the villainous character, like, you still hate Strahd.
No, Strahd hates him.
Oh, that's a good one. Here's a good twist. Mimi turns out to be the traitor.
No, not in a million years.
Too soft.
No, she wouldn't. Okay, she wouldn't be like. I wouldn't say she would be the villain. Like, oh, she was secretly the traitor the entire time. No. If anything, it would not be her like secretly plotting to be the villain. It's her being broken enough to become one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god, Ludovic the Holy Blade is playing.
Yeah, if like that would be closer to the circumstance where she would be the villain, not I'm secretly evil.
No.
No.
It's like good setup, but no.
Now Kira or Corey, that would be a bigger shock. A bigger shock, like that they were secretly the villain the entire time, more or less. I guess going back to my question, might as well ask you, Dion, what was your favorite like interactions or foils or whatever with Ricket so far?
Again, being that he's generally a non-responsive character when it comes to character scenes, it's hard to pick one. Though if I did have to say one, it would be probably between him and Ark. Either the throwing scene or crossing the river.
Right. That's right. Yeah.
Either that or the fact that Ricket has taken to riding on Sugasha's shoulders.
Right.
But you still suffer the curse of Strahd when it comes to rolls.
Yep. It's either between Ark and Sugash, the two characters Ricket has literally stood on.
Yeah, for those of you who may be unaware, our chat kind of has this running gag where we come up with we seem to come up with a new Curse of title every session. Like Curse of Ricket's rolls not being the only one, but there's some other really good ones.
Curse of the Blessing.
The blessed dice used on an undead character. The blessing on an undead character's dice, making them roll worse.
It's like
Sugash using Talmaro's dice because Talmaro is undead.
Or Curse of Strudel is another one.
Curse of Strudel. Oh right, there's also fuck.
I'm pretty sure
Curse of
someone in
Fuck.
our audience remembers. Curse of Fuck, that's another one. This may not be a session, but it's another title, so we're adding it to the fucking pile. Curse of Fuck.
Piplup used curse. Fuck.
Remember, and then there was when we all got the remove curse, or it just became.
Oh, this Maniac has a really good one. Question for everyone in the party. Favorite moments in combat? Any personal favorite finishing blows you did, or something else to that effect?
I know I had mentioned this before, but like I know we mentioned this before, but yeah, the fact that Ark like Loki slammed 3 guys in a freaking row. It's like that was just too funny.
My favorite is still yeeting the crocodile with my sword.
And then Garl not being able to throw a crocodile to you, but you being able to just toss one with like one hand or something.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, let me show you how it's done.
My favorite moment had to be against the Gibbering Mound, and I managed to roll a nat 20 and managed to get 2 8s and a 7.
I think mine has to be Ricket's first finisher.
Oh, I will stress, to be fair, Kira wasn't the one who finished off the Dribbling Mouther. She just landed huge damage to it. Corey was the one who killed it with Burning Hands, which that in of itself was a fucking badass moment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but yeah, I remember Ricket's first finisher. Wasn't that like where like you literally dragged like a dying guy into another plane and just fucking left him there?
Yeah, that was in session 0.
Yeah, that was in session 0, the very first one we actually played.
Yeah, it's like that was.
Ricket crawled under his target and then up his back, clinging on like some sort of possessed gremlin, cut his throat, and they both vanished at the same time. Ricket returned moments later, alone,
Yeah, just like
He had left the bandit in the ethereal plane to bleed out.
it's like that.
So he essentially let him in the shadow zone.
Yeah, like that was like fucking.
Sorry, Jimbo, I'm taking you to the Shadow Realm.
It's like I think
It's just down the street, right next to Chick-fil-A.
It's like I honestly I think that might actually be like the darkest finisher I think any of us have done, because everybody else is like,
Yeah, we should top that.
yeah, because everybody else has done like, you know, oh, cast awesome spell or arc, I, you know, slammed somebody awesome, and then Ricket is just, nope, now I'm gonna be this slinky sneaky son of a bitch, and it's like, whoa.
Slit the guy's throat.
I think it makes sense for Ricket to have the darkest kill, simply because he's in the party by far the most willing to harm people.
Yeah. Well, I think it's not even just
the most willing to leave someone to die.
Yeah, well, I think what gets it for me, it's not just the fact that he went and slit a guy's throat. You just had to go extra and just take him to another plane of existence and leave him there. Like that was like
The best
unnecessarily
part about it was
cruel.
him begging. The best part of it was him begging and trying to get the attention of his allies as he bled out. But because he's in the ethereal plane and the only person who can see into it is Ricket, only Ricket saw.
Yeah, they're like, that's just like an extra layer of like unnecessary cruelty. That's like, oh god,
Man.
it's like, oh god.
For the record, that's an ability he can do as a disembodied.
Yep.
Yeah, and you know, Dan, it just makes you wonder, oh man, imagine if Ricky had Golden Wind Requiem.
Oh, forget it, we're done.
Be unstoppable. What the fuck?
Oh god, it's like, yeah, forget it, we're done.
Face infinite deaths.
Campaign immediately over.
Just stroll into Castle Strahd and say, "What's up, fucker?
Oh,
This is mine now."
Golden Wind Requiem.
Yeah, like
Did you actually say
Strahd
that-
tries to punch you, and then everything just reverses.
Okay. Oh, Mr. Maniac actually says, I could see Ricket leaving one half of opponent in the plane with the other half still alive, crawling for a second and bleeding out. Like, could Ricket do that? Just, like, literally, like, decide what body parts he wants to put in the planes? Or does it have to be the whole person?
I don't think it's that
Ricket-
specific.
Ricket actually, the kill was purely thematic. Ricket can't take anyone else through to the plane.
Oh,
That's-
okay.
In
okay.
gameplay, he can't actually do it. But because it was a finishing move and I wanted it to be fairly thematic, I wrote up that he just took him with him.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
That's
Ricket
really
is
how do you want to do this thing?
So it's really just how do you want to finish this character thing, where Ricket takes someone to the ethereal plane.
Oh, okay.
Also,
Right.
have you been? You've been
Until
watching-
something incredible.
Okay, you guys are talking over each
Alright.
other again. Who wants to go first? Let's say Brian, because I think you were talking to. Brian?
No.
Hello? Oh, you weren't?
Yeah, I already said my thing.
Oh, Mimi.
Oh yeah. I decided to actually use the chat that we made for this.
Yeah.
I figured it may not be the right day, but whatever. I know this was also in session 0, but it's less of a kill and more of a moment, because I actually wanted to tie that into my question from earlier, like things that interactions or whatever that stood out. In session 0, which I don't think was streamed, but
No, session 0s we don't stream.
okay. But I want to stress that something that happened into session 0. So I believe it was Ricket and Ark that went to like one side of like a river or something.
Yeah, they were investigating the
Yeah.
woods, and they saw something over on the other side, so they decided to investigate.
Yeah. Then come some wolves and a dampier. Through all the foliage and whatever, Ricket is still able to see Mimi from across the river, and manages to use like some sort of do you have some sort of like telepathy spell,
Yep.
right?
No, not a spell. Ricket is purely telepathic. He
Okay.
only speaks
Yeah, it's a thing he can
normally
do.
in very specific circumstances.
Okay.
He can talk telepathically with anyone that he can see within 60 feet.
Okay, because you did that, and you said if there's trouble, grab your horn, or something along those lines, and that was. Not only do I feel that was a neat little like character thing, and it was also like a neat little like it was a neat little character thing. I thought it was nice for the battle, and gave Ricket and Ark a reason to come back.
Yeah.
As well. It may not have been like anything flashy or damaging or whatever, but that was something that I guess stood out for me. Like apart from like the obvious interaction that I think we all know about. I guess though in terms of battling, something I don't think we mentioned during the whole thing regarding the Death House was that I befriended a dog in there.
The Faxis, yeah.
Yes. Mimi befriended a dog, I should say. And the dog came into combat along with us when we were fighting the gibbering mouther. And
and the
at one point, the dog Sephaxis was also suffocated, and I casted what was the spell called? Spiritual weapon. I'm trying to remember all the details. I rolled really well there and managed to get one of its little things off of Sephaxis, which I was proud of because
you saved your dog.
Yeah, I saved my dog, and then it died
because detail of the modules that anything that was from the time period in the house leaves the house, it disintegrates.
Yeah.
Look at all the treasure we got.
Most of the treasure is fine.
Most of the treasure
it's pretty choosy like that.
The treasure, I guess, didn't come from the house. It just happened to enter the house and then.
Yeah, like the adventures stuff. Those are fine.
Yeah.
The magic items that you got, those are fine.
Yeah.
Although the deed to the windmill, that's not fine. So it went.
So did the house. Sorry.
Which honestly, in the last session, was pretty funny. Like when Sugash pulled the deed out of his bag, it just crumbles, and he's like, "Fuck."
Meanwhile, Ricket.
My house.
I'm so sorry for your house, Ricket.
Don't worry. I'm looking to move up in the world. There's a nice castle up for sale.
Like a nice castle up on the hill. That's just what I'm looking for.
There's a nice castle up for sale. The price is 1 vampire's head, so.
The owner's a prick, though. So.
Yeah, the owner's a prick.
I mean, so are all landlords.
Soon enough, the landlord will sell off the property, and Ricket will make the world a better place.
That gives me. Actually.
Yeah. Onto your point, Kira.
So I'm thinking here. Speaking of Mr. Vampire, what's your guys' theories on what do you think Strahd wants from your characters?
Ooh,
oh boy,
that's an interesting question.
Because, I know he sees Kira as a bride.
Yeah, so you're obvious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I will say, he did say he wants, he's looking for successors.
Right.
But that's as far as he elaborated on.
think I sort of said an idea. Like, I kind of gave... Actually, can we hold off on that question? Mr. Maniac asked another one. Favorite side character you've run into thus far, I believe you meant to say.
Is it
Is
me?
Mark. Mark.
Oh, that's fine.
Look,
You're cool too, Frank.
Frank.
Okay, no.
Look, I
I'm looking.
heavily,
What am I looking at?
I appreciate Frank. However, if I'm gonna count characters that I've met first in this campaign, which unfortunately I can't include someone I met in the abode. I think my favorite would have to be bravery. First off, I'm a sucker for courage. Secondly, actually, with that entire town, I'm surprised you were able to do all those voices.
So was I, actually.
But you know what's the best part about this? We have a new Doge.
We got our own Doge.
Yeah, copper.
It's like,
Mr. Maniac. I mean, we all know he wants Kira to finally get it up.
yeah. It's like,
No, I think it's already up for her.
okay. Let's see. Favorite side character? I know Frank is a classic, but outside of fucking Frank, honestly,
Fucking Frank.
it's like, honestly, I really liked Luvash.
Lavash?
I really, I really liked that side story that we did where, you know, because I think you genuinely portrayed the the franticness and the desperation of him trying to find his little girl. Like,
yeah, he's a dad who just wants his kid back.
It was very believable, and because it wasn't just oh no, my daughter is gone. What do I do? We'll go find him, and then you never heard from him again. It's like, no, he barged into a tavern. He's running all over the place. We get to the lake. He's at the fucking lake. It's like, that's very believable. So it's like, I gotta say, I really liked him, and that's like, I do look forward to when we do, because I know we said we're gonna get back to the encampment to inevitably tell everybody what happened to Madame Ava. But I am looking forward to seeing, like, yeah, how is he doing?
Kira is very fond of Lavash as well. And she will die protecting Arabelle.
Yeah. Which is surprising because not a lot of people, from what I've seen from from other people who've played Curse of Strahd, I should stress, really talk about Luvash. They either talk about Argal or Esmeralda, she's also a Vistani, or
I hope she's
even Madame Eva.
All right, but
I really hope we get to run Esmeralda very soon.
Yeah, it's like,
because she's my favorite NPC.
Yeah, because it's
one thing we did fail to mention: Madame Eva is dead.
Yeah, it's just at the
Strahd killed her.
Yeah, it's just right now we're still very much in the beginning of the game, and I know there's a lot more NPCs to come across. So I mean, it's like, yeah, I've heard a lot about Esmeralda, but we've only had her for a very brief moment, and now she's gone. So I'm like, I don't really have that much of an opinion on Esmeralda right now, but I'm aware she's a fan favorite.
Yeah.
I also adore Ismark. Like, I don't know what Jordan has planned for him, but from what everybody has done with Ismark in their campaigns, they always make him the lovable himbo who's, like, performs very well when he's under stress.
Okay.
And I do have a crush on him.
Way to honor your man.
Listen. It's actually kind of sad when you think about it that Kira saw Ismark as Taka for a second. But then she's gonna be like, Heart, I know you cry. Heart, I know you grieve, but please, I'm not ready yet.
Alright, so then I guess, like, Kadrat Ricket, what do you have to say for favorite NPCs right now?
Kedra?
They're thinking.
Honestly, that one is kind of hard for me. I do like Blinsky.
Yeah, I was about
Oh yeah, would you like a boy? Would you like a toy for the little boy or a little girl?
I still feel like that Ricket's
Don't
probably
call me
gonna
that.
get.
Or if you translate into Elvish. Oh yes, I do say. Would you like to purchase a toy for your child?
I know music's
Oh my
off.
god!
And he has a monkey.
Oh,
still feel-
music box done. I can fix that.
Yeah, please do.
I still feel like Ricket is
let's
definitely
see.
gonna get back at the party for that.
Yeah. Let's play the Mario Jazz thing again. Let me find it. By all means, keep the conversation going.
Okay. It's like, actually, like...
I do like his
Here we
monkey.
are.
Yeah, that's like, actually, I just remembered. So it's like, what...
Yeah, Piccolo the monkey.
Yeah, it's like, I just remembered. Yes, I still say that Luvash right now is still number one for me. I will say in the last session, I did like the three Vistani sisters at the tavern. Like, I do...
Yeah, the owners of the Blood of the Vine.
Yeah, it's like, I do like them, if only for the fact that, like, they were, like, casually flirting with Ark, and he had, like, again, deadpan, doesn't know how to react, and they're like, oh, that's so cute, we're gonna keep messing with him. So it's like, oh god, Ark, do not put that man in a situation where he ever has to, like, flirt with somebody. He's going to fail horribly.
Fail all of your charisma checks.
Yeah, it's like Ark just looks at one of them. You got pretty eyes. Wanna fuck?
No, not even.
No, I don't think he's even interested in fucking per se.
Yeah,
Like,
not even that. I mean, that's like.
Ark doesn't strike me as that type.
Brian,
Even if he were interested in someone, I don't think he would be that blunt.
Yeah.
I'm glad someone got what I was talking about.
Honestly, you know what? I can see Ark as being asexual.
Yeah, not for nothing he is. He more or less is.
Ark is the ace icon. There you go.
It's like, again, with what I've got planned for him, it's like, yeah, that probably is, like, the best way to, describe him. Like, if you were to put him on the spectrum, yeah, he'd be ace.
Meanwhile, Kira's straight as a board.
Yeah, only has her eyes for Taka. And Ismark, but only because he looks like an older version of Taka.
When Ark is asked
I can
if
answer for Sugash. Sorry about that. Just real quick. I do want to say that Sugash is definitely, as confirmed by Boone, gay, so he'd probably fancy Ismark as well.
I mean, they both agreed that he was cute.
Uh-huh. Sorry,
it's
go
like,
right ahead.
someone walks up to Ark and is like, "Hey, you want to fuck up?" And then and Ark just like, "Okay, who we fucking up?" and just pulls out a halberd.
Yeah, like that would probably be more like Ark, or like, yeah, if someone would be like, oh, it's like, yeah, you want to fuck? You'd be like, okay, who are we gonna fuck up? He would totally misunderstand. He would misunderstand it.
And then they give him a raised eyebrow, and he's like, "What? What?"
It's like, you want to smash? I mean, who we smashing?
Right.
Vicky, let me
Not what I meant. Oh my god, he's so hot when he's stupid.
Yeah, it's like, he's like, wait, why are we bringing a chicken in this now?
Oh my god.
He would be.
Oh my god.
It's like, he'd be like, wait, is this a human thing? Is this a human thing? What's with the chickens? Can someone explain that to me?
Chickens. No.
That would be Ark.
That's impossible.
Oh, that actually got me curious. What is Mimi's preference? I'm curious.
Okay, are we just doing this now?
I'm just curious, that's all.
Okay, I can tell you that Corey is exempt because she's a kid. I mean, she may be a
Right.
kobold adult, but she's a kid in human years.
He is, basically, I guess, I don't know. I know that, like, regardless of, I think I might have had her, like, as bi, but, like, regardless of her preference, she's more she's more of a romantically she's more of a romantic, I guess, in a sense.
Yeah, so she's more interested in the romance of a relationship more than the fucking.
Yeah.
Definitely.
That makes sense.
She's probably in that sense she's I think she's more like Ace than in regards to she's more like asexual, so
Yeah,
so
that makes sense.
yeah. You were talking about something earlier, Jen. Like you had a question.
Yeah.
I forgot which one. What was the question? What was your question?
What? Oh yeah. What's your thing? I mean, I obviously out of Strahd wanting us to be his successors. What do you think his plan is? Like, what do you think he wants from Mimi? Outside of being a success.
I think my theory, personally, and this goes back to what I said about how I said like how we were talking about twist villain, like if anyone was going to be a twist villain or whatever, and how I talked about how Mimi would only do it if she ever broke. I'm thinking Strahd wants to break her, not physically, but like emotionally. And
mentally, emotionally.
Too bad he's not allowed. I said so.
I mean, so far he's done a bang-up job. Let's see here. Kills Taka in front of her after he helped save her life.
As a direwolf, no less.
Yeah.
Sophaxis crumbling to dust.
Yeah, Sophaxis, the dog that she befriended, crumbling to dust. Right before meeting him, by the way. And even though she remained untouched in the encounter, the same cannot be said about everyone else, especially not Kedra, the person who probably was the one who to try and break her out of her shell the most, being killed right in front of her again.
Not unlike Taka.
Yeah. Especially since I know she wants to be like she wants to meet a healer, not because of like what she is, but who she is. So that's another big thing. People dying in front of her really gets to her, and so again, though I guess it helps that Kedra came back to life via his simp, via his patron, who
Sim patron.
You know what I mean.
Sim patron.
And that does
on
help.
YouTube as opposed to
It does help, but like I think like he wants her to turn to his side, and the best way to do so is breaking her. Now, why she doesn't know. Like why he'd want her, she doesn't know.
It's like, I would say, like, probably right now, I would say Ark probably thinks, like, just, like, a source of entertainment. Because it's very obvious that Strahd knows about Ark, and the fact that he's deliberately withholding that information. I mean, I think, like, Ark even made it a point in the last session to say, like, after that encounter, like, he feels like, that Strahd's treating him like, how you would, like, when you're teasing a dog with a toy. And, like, that's probably, like, where I think it is like, some twisted form of entertainment, there you go.
Art,
Yeah.
do you want the bone?
I want the bone.
I will say, Strahd wants nothing to do with Ricket.
Yeah.
Out of everyone, he made it abundantly clear he doesn't think anything of him.
Rickett, do you want to trade?
Well,
I don't think it works like that.
yeah, I don't think it works like that.
Sure.
As for me, I think while I know Strahd wants nothing to do with Ricket, I think, like, for Ricket's personal theory of what Strahd wants with him, I think he just wants Ricket out of the way. Because, let's be honest, what are you going to do? What would you say you'd want to do with a half magical creature, half wooden replacement for a child, who can drag people to the ethereal plane and leave them there because they got in his way? Would you A, want to try and keep them alive and turn them evil, or B, just try and stop them there and then?
No.
I'd say Strahd would want B, because Ricket is an incredibly fickle character.
Yeah, so even if he were to, employ him as an assassin on his payroll, he'd be, too outside of his personal guidelines to really follow the rules.
I think if Strahd somehow managed to convince Ricket to work for him, Ricket still wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
He would just take the reward, and then not do it.
Yeah, so
Because
B is
he
definitely
knew
on.
it would-
Yeah.
He knew it would just make Strahd angrier.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Strahd would definitely answer B on that test.
Yeah.
Stop
I
that
circle
demon child
violence.
before he can get to my castle.
I can also say Strahd just wants to kill Sugash. He's a Belmondo. They all deserve to die, in his mind.
Fucking racist.
Yeah. But but apart from Kira, that leaves and we already went through me and
Kedrat.
that leaves Kedrat.
Honestly,
And Corey, but Dana's not here.
yeah, unfortunately. Kedrat, what do you think Strahd wants with Kedrat?
I'm going by what he's originally thought, like back in the last session that we had, that primarily Strahd is angry at Kedrat because he sees him with something that he's always wanted but can never get, and that's having the unconditional love of another woman, that being Illicent. So like he wants what Kedrat has.
Yeah.
So that's why he killed Taka, because now he thinks this is another thing, that he thinks by killing Taka that Kira will open up to him.
Yeah.
I guess that might also explain, like, going back, if I can work with my theory. And hey, if he breaks another woman enough, maybe she,
Maybe they'll fuck me.
That's literally what I was gonna say. Then Kira would want some fuck.
Oh no.
So I guess I know Dana.
That's horrible.
So that being said, I know Dana's not here, but I guess in our opinions, yeah, what do we think Strahd wants with Corey?
Again, with her
Bargaining
ability
chip for
to
Kira.
Well, yeah, bargaining chip for Kira. That's a really good one. Another thing is, honestly, have you seen the way Corey has handled those orcs?
Yeah.
That was flawless.
Yeah, that could be that he wants Corey as a diplomatic for himself.
Or honestly,
someone
guys,
can
with that in mind, I can easily see, if you're okay with the idea, for Corey to possibly be the party face.
Party mascot. I mean, I don't mind it.
Oh yeah.
No, not a mascot. The face.
Yeah.
What does it mean to be the party face?
Isn't it
Basically the one who negotiates and talks on behalf for most of the party.
so basically party leader?
Not necessarily.
Not so much leader.
Not exactly.
No, not exactly. More like the
charismatic talker.
the ambassador, if I could put it some way, but
Oh, okay.
Diplomat.
diplomat.
I mean, that
Diplomat,
was.
yeah.
I mean, I have a.
Yeah, because
I mean, that's what Corey wanted in the first place.
Yeah.
You know, to be the party diplomat. You know, talk first, fight later.
Yeah.
That was her intention. And honestly, you guys have been a little bit gung ho sometimes, but yeah.
Well, if it bleeds, therefore it can be stabbed.
Yes. Yes, but
Rickett is an example of even if it doesn't bleed, it can be stabbed.
I mean, Rickett doesn't bleed.
As I said, Rickett is an example that even if it doesn't bleed, it can be stabbed.
yeah.
Because he's been stabbed through the chest. How many? Like 3 times now?
Yeah. I'm not sure what Kira is in the group. Like, I know I have a +6 in persuasion.
yeah, I know Ark is far from the negotiator.
Honestly, I would say
if you want to negotiate via talents, Ark's your guy.
yeah. Honestly, Kira, with you being the princess, we'd say your role is pretty defined. Like, you're not just a princess, you're also a healer, and you're also an attacker, so...
Yeah, I'm a mix of everything. Like, I guess I could say I'd be kind of like the backup talker, I guess.
I could talk if necessary. That being said, between Mimi's shyness, fear of racism, and
I guess Kira's more of the more aristocratic talker. Like, she could talk to the aristocrats and nobles more easily.
Exactly. She is more of the authority on politics, which honestly would be very helpful going forward, you know, considering Vallaki has an election going on. And Corey is more so to, you know, try and get the other side story before things, you know,
Escalate.
hit the fan. Yeah.
You know,
If they do.
Usually, not like the last encounter though, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yeah, you didn't even get a chance to negotiate because Rickett, you know, stabbed the hag.
I
Damn
know.
it, Rickett.
No, I didn't stab her. I tried to cut her throat.
That's the same thing as hurting! You know what I fucking mean?
They are two different things. Stabbing
They both
her
involve a
hole.
blade! Get
You
fucked!
You know, Ricky, you're definitely gonna get scolded by Kira if we get out of this alive.
Yeah, just be prepared for that.
Scold if you will, he will find something else to stab.
Stabbing one of your own party members.
No.
What happens when you can't stab your way out of a
I
situation,
mean,
Finky?
to be
What
fair,
happens if you can't stab your way out of a situation? You just go to the ethereal plane and wait.
Oh my god, he would. No, Rickett goes to the ethereal plane to sulk.
Damn it, I can't
No,
stab.
he puts himself in timeout.
oh my god,
I imagine Kira says, go to the ethereal plane.
no, Rickett, it's like this. You know that vibe's like, shut up! Both started speaking in Spanish. That's Kira to Rickett.
Or I guess in Draconic.
Well, remember, Kira speaks 5 different languages.
Again,
Oh, yeah.
I have
Do
a
you speak
question.
Elvish?
Does anyone?
Yeah, I speak Elvish.
Okay, so you speak Elvish after that.
Yeah, I speak Elvish. I could speak Undercommon. I could speak Draconic.
There's
Hold on,
only
let me-
one person who would be able to understand Rickett if he started screaming in Sylvan.
Right.
I also speak Celestial, which is a language that none of us outside of me knows.
I to double check
I've got
something.
Sylvan, Common, and Elven. So
Yeah. Oh, let me check. Let me check Corey real fast. I got her sheet
think
right here.
only Kedrot would be able to understand when if Ricketts just starts screaming in Sylvan.
Yeah.
Actually, no,
Oh my
no,
god!
where-
Oh my
no.
god! It's a screaming. It's an elvish screaming match between the
no,
two.
no. Excuse me. Mimi.
There it is.
Sylvan.
Oh, you can
Common
speak Sylvan. Cool.
Draconic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Mimi,
Corey only has two
Kedrot,
languages.
can you speak
Common and
Sylvan?
Draconic. What?
Kedrot, not you. Can you speak Sylvan?
Yeah.
Yeah, is that one of your known languages? Yeah.
My three are Common, Infernal, and Sylvan.
Yeah. Ark knows Common, Aarakocran, and Goblin.
Oh god, you know what? Ryan, Kedrot should know Sylvan, considering who he works under.
Becoming
yeah.
a Fae, you actually learn Sylvan, I believe.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so just
there's-
add a Sylvan spell.
Mimi and Kedrot will be able to understand if Rickett just starts screaming at Kira in Sylvan.
Yeah.
Actually, wait, no, I don't know Sylvan. I only know Celestial, Draconic, Undercommon, Common, and Elvish.
Yeah. Sylvan is the language of Fae, by the way.
Goddamn,
But-
how do you know so many languages?
Those are from my 2 feats. From my noble feat, and from my
Noble's not a feat, is your background.
yeah, from my aristocratic feat. I know aristocrat gave me an extra language.
Yeah, it's part of the advanced backgrounds.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I already. Yeah, and that's the Grim Hollow feature, by the way. I know an extra language because I am human, which is what Celestial is. Common, of course, is
This.
One of my-
It's what it's what we're speaking in right now.
yeah.
Yeah.
My Draconic, I understand Draconic because that is from my dragon background, or from my dragon thing.
Dragon blood. Dragon
Yeah.
blood. Dragon blood.
Yeah, the dragon blood,
let's
which
say-
is my Draconic ancestor, which is
Yeah, Mr. Maniac, if Kedra told Rickett to get out of the ethereal plane, I'd be the one he absolutely wouldn't listen to.
Rickett, get out of the. I am so half tempted
Yeah.
to like.
I'm
to
in the
link-
ethereal plane, and you're not my dad. I am literally in the ethereal plane. You're not my dad.
That's gonna be fun if somebody animates that fucking vine in particular. That's gonna be a great one.
Kedra, go to your room. Rickett, I'm already in my room.
No, wait. No, wait. It's like
Go
get
home.
up on
I'm
the.
already at home.
And it's like get up on top of the fridge. You know what? Get up there.
This is a fucking nightmare!
I'm also half tempted to link up the people to those freaking vines so they can all check it out, and when I can like add more and stuff. But yeah, I like that idea that freaking Rickon and Kira are like just screaming in Elvish.
Just screaming at each other in Elven about whether it is justifiable to stab night hags.
Neither dagger fire. Then I shall die as one of them.
Yeah, it's like, and meanwhile, because remember, right now in the freaking windmill, it's like, yeah, it's Rickett, Kedrot, and Ark on one level, and everybody else in the other. So if Rickett and Kedrot were like yelling at each other, Ark would just be like, what?
He's like, I am so confused.
Kedrot and Rickett screaming in Sylvan downstairs. Maybe like, why the fuck are they?
And then it gets
But,
even
you know,
worse.
even the hag would be confused. It's like,
Is this normal?
Yeah, it's pretty normal.
I imagine Rickett would speak in specific languages depending on who he's talking to.
I also like the fact that that one hag was like complimenting on my witch laugh. Like, that was just my normal laugh, by the way. I actually laugh like a witch.
yeah, honestly, that's one characteristic I gave all the hags. Like, they have a sense of humor.
That was really good.
Yeah, again, don't stress yourself, Jen.
Yeah, I know. I'm still recovering from freaking strep throat.
I also love. Did you just try to poison me?
Yes.
Wooden. Can you not see it?
Ah.
Also, I love the fact that I brought my signet ring and like nobody respects it.
Well,
Well, why would
yeah, because
they?
because for one thing, you're not in your kingdom anymore. Secondly, it's Barovia.
Yeah, but it's like
The only king they've ever known was Strahd.
yeah, Strahd up there like, yeah, I'm gonna be king once I get my hands on you, princess.
Please do not say it like that.
No, Strahd would absolutely say it like that.
Yeah,
That's his whole point, and that's
All the more reason to stab the
Yeah.
vampire.
Yep, yep.
Go ahead, argue with me about stabbing the vampire.
I actually won't. Like, that's the whole point.
yeah. I think from now on, Kira's gonna after this, if we get out of this, because I'm afraid my plan is going to work, but it's gonna be like, yeah, from now on, Ricket, when we send you to do some reconnaissance, that means don't stab people.
It's not my fault that she didn't die when I cut her throat. Usually that kills people.
You were supposed.
Usually that kills people. I love that explanation.
Yeah, but these are.
It's true!
Yeah, but don't
He
you know?
isn't wrong!
It's like, they didn't die. Nobody's done that before.
It's just like.
I'm putting that in my notes.
You know what?
Yeah.
Write it down in the side RP when it comes to that.
I'm just gonna be
I
like,
will.
you know what, Ricket, Kira's just gonna scream out, you know what? Go to the ethereal plane, and you stay there, and you think about what you've done in Elvish.
You do realize when I come out of the ethereal plane, I respawn. Respawn.
I respawn. I die. I have to die in order to enter the ethereal plane. But you know what? When I pop back, it's okay.
No. When he comes out of the ethereal plane, he always reappears where he was when he went in.
Oh, fuck.
Oh.
He goes into the ethereal plane, and you guys leave, and say he may have been sitting
You'd be
on
at the
wagon.
windmill still. Oh my god.
He would come back after a max of a minute spent in the ethereal plane. That's as long as he can spend there. Right back where you went in.
Alright, be like, you know what? It'd be like, you know what,
Oh, God.
Ricket, get in the wagon. Get in one of the barrels. Get in that barrel in the
Okay,
wagon
okay.
right now.
I'm not going to sit in a barrel because you think it's funny.
I'm not being funny. This is your punishment.
I have the perfect reaction to when Ricket pops out of the ethereal plane, and then he realizes, oh wait, no one's here anymore. Well, anyway. Okay, here it is.
Anyway, back to stabbing.
Yeah, here it is.
I just like the idea of like Ricket and Kira just arguing in Elvish and everybody's like looking confused. Actually, who else knows Elvish besides me and Ricket?
I think that
Actually, could that be a feature that we could probably do is teach the others Elvish?
Wait, feature?
like, is it possible to teach other characters other languages?
I mean, is it a thing?
Technically,
Dion. Is it?
technically you could, but that would take a long campaign
Yes.
of them
Honestly,
being around these characters who won't speak in common around them, who only speak in that language.
yeah. You know what?
For them to start
Realistically,
picking up what it means.
yeah. Realistically, you can try, but it's like learning a real life language. So you'd probably take years and years to master it. Like,
Corey, being 11, would have a much easier time learning a language because the younger you are, the easier it is to take in a new language.
yes. Everyone else though, no.
Ricket's too old to learn any new languages.
Yeah.
For frame of reference, he's something along the lines of 200.
Wow.
Because, first of all, he's made of wood, so he won't die of old age. Second of all, he's disembodied. So even if he could die of old age, disembodied, absolutely none of them have died of old age.
Exactly.
And he only
so-
really started fighting very recently in his life.
Yeah,
And
so,
the
like,
rest of the time
it's-
just opting to pretend to be a child and then coasting along the fact that people would just trust him to be a child and leave him alone.
Ricket would try to find a way to say stab in every language.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, so Kira, neat idea, honest, but the execution is next to impossible, depending on the character's age. So just remember that.
Maniac, that's funny, but again, he can blink into the ethereal plane and then nothing in the material plane works on him.
Hey, Brandon.
Hello,
Hey.
Brennan. Whoever the fuck you are.
He's another friend. He's a friend of ours.
Hey,
Hello.
hey,
He's another
Brandon.
needle geek.
He's actually one of the owners of the Spiffy Needle Geeks channel.
Hey, Brandon. I know you don't remember me, but chocolate fountain.
What?
I don't
Should I
get it.
ask?
I don't.
Should I ask?
I don't think I want to know.
I don't think I want to know either.
Danny gets it.
I do. It was like a joke, like, and it wasn't chocolate fountain, it was chocolate swimming pool.
Yeah.
And
That's even
That
worse.
is somehow even worse.
no,
Not even somehow it is!
no, the joke was that me and Jen, we're just like, you're chocolate fountain. How about if you just had like an entire swimming pool just filled of melted chocolate that you can just jump in and just like swim around and eat? And Brendan is just like, why? The extravagance. Why?
Jen! Just like Jen!
Love you, Brandon.
Run!
That's just.
I
That's
do
like,
remember
Jen,
you.
I do
I
remember
do.
you.
he says as he pulls out a gun.
I remember what you did to me!
Oh my fucking god.
I don't.
Just in case you guys are wondering why I play D&D with these clowns.
Hey! Yeah,
Not
never
that.
mind.
That's stupid.
And I never.
And I
forget.
never. Love you, Brandon.
Okay, Brandon.
Amazing.
I am scared.
Would you like
a
a chocolate pool, Brandon?
Jen?
In the shape of a music note?
Jen?
That's just too far. You need to
Jen?
Why are you
stop.
targeting him specifically?
Jen?
Like he just got here. Calm.
Jen?
I
Jen?
can't help it.
Jen? Jen?
Yes?
What?
You have 5 seconds.
For what?
You have 5
Four.
seconds to comply.
3.
No.
Okay. I can't enforce anything, but technically I don't need to. It's technically his channel.
Brandon, I am 100 meters away from
Don't lie to me.
Don't you lie to me!
Alfred!
I'm literally
Alfred!
I'm literally crying and laughing.
I'm 100 meters from your current location, approaching rapidly. Start running.
Why does that sound like something Rickon would also say?
I'm currently 60 feet away from you, and I'm approaching. Either you start running now, or I catch up and kill you sooner.
Either you run now, or I stab you.
Either you run and get stabbed later, or you get stabbed now. Either way, you're
I
going
don't
to.
know what she's. I know what she's doing.
I
You
know
run-
why she's
you-
doing it.
You run now or you never run again.
Oh my god! I like
That
that.
is so dark. I'm
Because
using
I
that.
don't-
I'm using that.
Either you run now or you're never running again.
Either you run now, or you'll never run again.
Because I don't have a way to get to her right now yet. Well, I'm on Discord.
Yet.
Yet, that is like. I love just yet. It's the most threatening thing you can say after
Like,
hold on,
saying
hold
you
on,
can't
hold
do
on.
something.
Bring it on. I'm right here. Come at me, bro.
He's just
Yeah.
he's just biding his time.
Man, remember when this was a chill stream?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're
When
talking.
When this was
we
about
leave,
Curse of Strahd.
you're wrong.
Yeah, remember?
Oh my god, I just had a very scary thought that freaking Strahd says that I'm 100 meters away from your location.
Okay.
I mean, I can
actually-
read it in that voice.
I do.
Okay. I'm 100 meters from your current location and approaching rapidly. Start running, worms.
How
And
about,
I
how about you
would
come
run
out of the
by-
shadows and fight me like a man?
Now Rickon would be
You're up.
like the kind of guy that'll just stand there, and then when when Strahd comes by, you're in range.
Yes! I love how that just keeps coming back.
Kira would be like, okay, we're gonna do this.
Yeah,
thing.
that line.
That one line. You've made one mistake. What's that? You're in range.
Honestly, I referenced that exact line in Phantom of the Forest.
It's like that.
Oh, fuck yes.
It's like that's
Yeah,
become-
Alex says that.
Yeah,
Alex says that.
that has become like the reoccurring badass line. Like Because that started from the abode, didn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah, it started with Rags.
It's like, yeah, his character blurted that out, and we were just like, that is the most badass thing we've ever heard. And now it keeps popping up.
Because it was against,
It was an elvish rogue. They were part of this cult that was, trying to sacrifice Dora for the chaos god or whatever.
That's right, yeah, it was rogue. You've made one mistake. What's that? You're in range. And, what happens when you decide to try and grab an exposed heart with the Shocking Grasp spell?
Electrocution.
What happens when a robot knows the humanoid body well enough to target specific points with lightning?
Pain.
And a very helpful method of extracting information from prisoners.
Yeah.
I
took it to pain!
I know Rickett would probably be teleported out of Kira's kingdom if we get out of here, but it's like...
I mean,
Kira would
it depends on how long he's been in the Forgotten Realms, for one thing.
I imagine Kira would be like, alright, Rickett, would you like to be my prison warden? You get to torture all of these sick fucks.
Does
Rickett isn't as much a torturer as
No,
Rags
he's
was.
No, especially Rags at the beginning of the Abode.
Like, early Abode Rags was sort of unhinged in his desire to get information and torture people.
See, I'm aware, gents, on Discord. The question is, will Brian or Danny be willing to send me the coordinates?
Yeah, so it's like
I imagine.
It's like fun fact though. I'm sorry, I was just about to say fun fact. Between me and Jordan, we actually did get Brandon a player's guide and some dice.
Yeah, and Ryan too. Honestly, we would love to have you both as guest players.
Yeah, so we do.
Like maybe
Fuck yeah,
one or the other.
Come in for a session.
Yeah, it's like we got so I mean between Brandon and then another friend of ours, Ryan, who was doing the spooky needle geek stuff last month. It's like, yeah, we got them stuff to do some D&D.
Honestly, I have the perfect role for Ryan. I'll have to talk to him about it next time he's online, but yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
As for Brandon, yeah, we can also have you pop in for a session.
Brandon would totally
I mean, if you see on the layout, there is a space for a potential 8th player.
Yeah, Crystal is enjoying the idea. Yes, have them as guest players.
Brandon straight up leaked Jen's address on stream.
No.
Don't dox people. Don't fucking dox people.
Yeah. Hey, Doxer, you there? Yeah?
That sounded like it hurt.
Oh yeah.
Yes. You.
Oh yeah. Speaking.
Gut punch.
Speaking of dice, I did get our friend Realm here some new dice
Because he needs them, and yes, you do deserve them. Fuck off.
Actually,
but do I?
Actually, you know
what's up?
It's actually funny you mentioned getting Brian a player's guide because my one of my siblings actually got one for me for my birthday. So yeah, that's so super.
You know, I actually had the fun idea, and I did talk to Jordan about this.
Brandon will absolutely be a bard.
Oh, I don't know, but bard is like a really great first player class, only because it has so many opportunities to roleplay.
Yeah. Well, not for nothing. There was a one shot that I did with Jordan, Ryan, Brandon. It was just some random thing I came up with, and not for nothing, both Brandon and Ryan, they caught on very quickly. I mean, the two of them at some point, because Ryan was a barbarian and Brandon was a bard, and both of them caught on that they were going up against I forgot what creature it was, Saugans or something. I don't remember what it was, but they were going up against some kind of creature and they caught on.
Yeah, some aquatic creature.
Yeah, but they saw that, there is some metal on them. So Ryan's character was able to pin him down, and Brandon's character just did heat metal on it. It was like that, or he did like it was like that, or he did like
Yes, Sahagin.
Yeah, it was either that, or it was like he did like Ryan had like basically like pinned this thing down with like a battle axe or something, and Brandon was just like, heat metal on the battle axe, just do more damage. So I mean, the two of them were teaming up, and they caught on very quickly. So I mean, so it's like, that suffice it to say, they know what they kind of know. They know what they're doing.
Yeah. Well, Brian did the deed. Time to get my revenge.
Anyways,
I ain't scared.
Yeah. Anyway, back to
Strahd.
Yeah, back to Strahd.
Yeah. Back to brass tacks.
I can't. Now, granted, there is some things I know about the module, and I can't wait to meet this certain NPC. I'm not going to say their name, but I can't wait to run into them.
Okay.
But yeah.
All right.
This
we'll get
module,
to it when we get to it.
Yeah. It's just
this module. I really do love it, and it's like I've never run it. I have never played it successfully.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so hopefully this experience is turning out a lot better than the other one.
Yeah.
I'm definitely having fun.
I mean, so am I.
I'm just waiting for level 5 so I can just start teleporting around the battlefield.
Yeah.
Because at level 5, a disembodied gets intrinsic blink.
Yeah. At the end of the day, I keep... sorry. At the end of the day, I keep saying this whenever this comes up, but I'm not asking to be Matthew Mercer. I just want to be able to tell a story with my friends.
Mm-hmm.
And I like to think it's working out so far. It's not working out, is it?
Yeah.
What's that?
Strahd, why are you all ignoring me? Everyone, chocolate pool.
Yeah. It's like, is there anything in this campaign you don't like? And you're like,
Okay, let me...
I haven't really encountered anything that's been
bad.
that bad.
Mm-hmm.
No, okay.
Thank God.
Let me play it like this. It's not...
Just say it sucks, it's okay.
No. No. Everything that quote-unquote... I'm putting big quotations on this. Everything that quote-unquote sucks about this campaign boils down to my personal inability or whatever to keep track of certain names and whatever. And again, that's like I can remember I guess people, but not necessarily their names right off the bat.
Oh, you remember faces better than names.
Yes.
I'm definitely that way too, yeah.
And though I guess it could partially count because of my.
Did someone just do a fucking death rattle?
No, sorry, that was me.
Okay. Are you yawning? Because that sounded like you just gasped your final breath.
That was me yawning. I've always had a problem with phlegm in the back of my throat, and it was bubbling while I breathed in.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh my
Sorry
god.
about that. Usually I try to mute myself before that happens.
Right.
And that's another thing that I find funny, like in the campaign, like certain little outside noises happening, like the freaking during the dire wolf fight, like the fucking car just running by, and it's like, oh my god.
Calm down, Bumblebee.
And then when we were in the inn, his phone was going off.
Can we also just agree that probably the most unfortunate thing that occurred in the session was Kendra and Ark's arm wrestling competition?
Oh my god.
Oh yeah.
Beat me by 1 fucking point. I rolled a 19. He
fucking min-maxer.
Yeah, it's like I rolled a 19. He rolls a dirty 20 by 1 point.
You know, freaking Ark is gonna want a rematch. Like I felt.
Yeah.
I'll
honestly, guys,
don't be rematching. Rest assured.
Honestly, guys, I would, after seeing so many sessions for the third Critical Role campaign that's going on right now, that we should employ a little game called Rollies.
All right.
Where you take a d20, just roll it flat, and, you know, we make our decisions there. I got a natural 19, by the way.
Oh, I got
With my metal
12.
dice.
Oh my god.
So yeah, if you guys want to have an equivalent of rock, paper, scissors, or whatever the fuck else, just play Rollies. I got a natural 1.
I got a 4.
Actually, you know what? That was more of a push. Let me actually roll. 17. That's better.
Oh god, guess who's adding me?
Nah. Yeah, but not for nothing.
Oh no, Brandon's adding you.
Yes.
But
Actually,
not for nothing. At least like in this campaign, like at least once we figure out how the hell to get away from the windmill and the situation we're in right now, because we are not in a good situation right now.
You're really not.
Yeah, but it's like
But luckily, I have a plan.
Mm-hmm. But even so, it's like.
So you keep saying. No, I agree. I believe in you.
Yeah, but it's like. That's where it's like, I'm trying to think, like, you know, because not for nothing, like, we've got a bunch of things we got to take care of. Like, I know the big thing is the Wizard of Wines, because several things rely on going down that path. Like, not just Arc.
Yeah.
Not just Arc, because that's a big one, at least for me. But I know, like, we've got, there were other, like, NPCs that we had talked to that it's like, nah, we kind of got to go there.
Yeah, it's your gateway into Krex.
Yeah, so it's like, yeah, which also ties into, you know, with the escorting with Irina, because we got to get over there. But then we also have what was it? The elf guy that we got to help him out.
Casimir.
Casimir. Yeah, we got to
Casimir.
Yeah, we got to help him out.
One of your allies, yes.
Yeah, we got to help him out, and he was talking about, like, you know, that his people got slaughtered at like a temple or something.
Yeah, the Amber Temple.
Yeah, so eventually we're probably gonna have to go there to, you know, to help him out.
I'm not gonna lie, I am not looking forward to that.
Honestly, neither am I, because the Amber Temple is also something of a TPK site.
Oh,
yeah, it's.
Yeah. Well, honestly, I would say that one's a bit more warranted because of the general levels that you had there in the first place.
Okay, so
yeah, so I'm just hoping Casimir is like, all right, I'm just hoping that Casimir understands that I don't think that this party's quite ready to take that on yet.
No, we're not gonna go there now. Like, fuck no.
Right, but I'm like,
I'm gonna railroad you guys so you don't head there early. Like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Oh, music's done. Well, I have another thing in mind.
And I know, oh my god, Valaki's got so much shit.
I don't know if we got got sidetracked from another question. So did we have any questions that we
any other questions?
Because I had another one. For all the Abode players.
Me.
Oh, okay.
I guess this is also going to be my question directed at me too, but how would your characters from the Abode and from Curse of Strahd like react if they were put into?
If they were put in the same room.
Yeah, if they were put in the same room.
Yeah, unfortunately, Jen won't be a part of this because, you know, she wasn't in the Abode.
Yeah, I am so sorry, Jen.
It's okay.
I mean, you also have a sixth row, so I guess it works out. But also, I'm not trying to shun you or anything.
No. I'm sure she gets it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, like, I could probably see Abode characters interacting with Kira, like.
I guess when we're all done, I'll have a different question for you, so you're not feeling left out. But for everyone else, how would your characters react? How would they interact if they're in the same room? Like, how would Ricket and Rags react if they were in the same room? Or how would Riona and Kedra react?
Yeah, you know what? Let's go down the line. So let's start with, you know what? Let's just
If I
go
may
with
interject.
Rags and Ricket. Yeah.
Kira could use Rao.
I
Though
mean,
not introduced to the viewers, it would be an interesting thing to think of.
that's a little bit off from now because I would prefer for them to meet Rao when we actually start playing. So
True.
yeah,
My child.
yeah.
As for Rags and Ricket, it would be interesting because both of them would sort of see the other as an interesting monster.
Yeah.
Rags has never seen a living puppet, nor has he ever seen someone disembodied. Ricket has never seen a warforged necromancer that people don't immediately hate. And Ricketts, as has been proven, is sort of a stab first, ask questions later character. And Rags is usually flanked by at least 2 skeletons or his bullets, and thus would look like much more of a threat to Ricket. So Ricket would opt for stab first, ask questions later. And when later comes, because Rags has so much fucking health, I'd say they'd get along fairly well.
I'd say that too. Yeah.
I wouldn't say they'd be friends or anything. They would have sort of this terse alliance between one another, where Ricket doesn't stab Rags and Rags doesn't have these minions attack Ricket.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be an easy thing for them to maintain because they'd get on each other's nerves.
Yeah.
Ricket being as blatantly nonchalant and uncaring as he is, whereas Rags is incredibly emotional.
For a robot, yeah.
For a Warforged, when it comes to the protection of people he cares about. And because Ricket has nobody he cares about, they'll be at odds on that front.
Alright, so, Kedrat, how would, you interact with Riona?
Honestly, I think they'd be fine because Riona's dealt with dragons before.
Yeah, yeah.
So, like, I don't think there'd be too much that they disagree on. I don't think there'd be anything, like, anything, like, bad between the two because, you know, it's like, yeah, you know, Riona's dealt with dragons.
Speaking of dragons.
I mean,
although I would say a bit of their personalities would be a bit of an interesting contrast with each other, because while Riona is like a much more stern and serious compared to, you know, Kedrat, while, you know, he certainly can be stoic, but he's a bit more prideful. Like, Riona's not the kind of person who would brag.
Yeah.
If I had to say Kira and Rao interacting, Kira would probably try to adopt Rao, but I don't think another certain character would like that.
Danny.
No, it's...
How would Cass and Ark interact with each other?
That almost sounded like I was interrupting you, Jen, by the way. I'm sorry.
I could see Cass, Cass would probably go out of her way to, like, you know, try to help Ark out. Like, you know, I think she'd be maybe a little freaked out at first with him shape-shifting, and such, she'd be like, whoa, what the hell is this, basically, but not so much that it would turn her, she wouldn't, like, turn her back on him or anything, like, you know, so I think, like, you know, yeah, she'd do what she can to maybe try and help him out. Ark, at first, would probably be like, you know, okay, what is her deal? Why won't she leave me alone? You know, and it's like, she's just not scared of me. You know, I can't seem to shake her off or whatever. So it's like, he'd probably be really wary of her at first. But then, like, probably after, like, seeing her in combat and stuff, he'd be like, you know what, I don't mind her so much. So probably more like, you know, like, he would eventually respect her, but it would definitely come in time.
Alright, so, Mimi and Lele. How would they do?
Well, first off, I know, like, their personalities are very different. Lele is very outgoing, very confident. Mimi's quiet, shy, not confident. It's almost reflecting their appearances, whereas Lele shows off a lot. Mimi almost tries to hide. I mean, in fair, like, so it's interesting, but like, I think, I know one thing for certain. I'm sure Lele would probably acknowledge that Mimi is a tiefling, but also in typical Lele fashion, she wouldn't care. Like, it's just a rate. It's this really, it's like this sort of thing where it's like, I'm just here to have fun, you know. She's just admittedly more to herself, but like, it's not like it's not like she cares about that. So I guess that might itself be like a way for Mimi to kind of try and break out of her shell a little, because you know, when confronted with someone who doesn't care about what you are, I guess it's easier. I feel like they might get along eventually if Lele's eventual big companionship with Castiel was anything to go by in the abode. I'm sure Mimi would eventually be able to get along with Lele.
Yeah.
It's just that there's also the added benefit of Lele not caring for me, one of the things that would be a flaw for Mimi. So that it kind of overcomes one of those barriers, almost like sort of right away, I guess.
Okay.
I guess on that note, Jen.
Yeah.
Based on what you know about the characters from the abode, and this can even apply to characters for people who aren't in the room, I guess. And I guess the other people can reply as such. How would Kira react to the party from the abode? Like, how would Kira react to Riona and vice versa, or how would Kira react to Rags and vice versa?
All right. First,
And I guess to give a basic framework of Virog and Bakuhatsu, Bakuhatsu's very direct, and he definitely speaks his mind more than he probably should. He's also a noble pirate who has probably way too many guns, some of which he's forgot the functions of.
God.
And Virog, yeah, Virog is basically the himbo who is super friendly to everyone, and I mean everyone. And he's also a tavern brawler, a really good one at that.
Oh my god. Let's see. I guess for Baku, Kira would probably have good respect for him, even though he speaks his mind. That's the kind of thing she likes, is that he would speak his mind. To Rags, she would find him very interesting, because like, even though necromancy is considered kind of the way I see it is Virtus Lenore kind of looks down on necromancy, but the fact that he would use it to protect people is a very, very interesting concept to her. To Lele, adorbs.
Layla would totally relish in that.
To Castile, like, girl power, I like that. Heck yeah, it's strong. To Rihanna, like, why do I sense that you always have boss music playing around you?
And that's not inaccurate either.
You just hear Rags complaining in the back. She keeps breaking the skulls.
And to dumb himbo character, like, oh my god, I want
Virog.
to give you Virog.
Yeah, dumb himbo character has a name, to be fair.
Yeah, Virog, she would hug him, like, straight up, I love you. You're like a big teddy bear.
And yeah, he would hug you back. Maybe a little bit too tightly, but
Yeah. So that would probably be her interactions with them.
yeah.
I guess for everyone else, what would you? I don't know. I just thought that would be a. I don't know. I just thought like. Oh,
It's an interesting thought exercise.
Yeah, especially since I know like for a number of us, especially like with how Rickett was describing, with how Dan was describing Rickett and Rags, and how just completely different they are, despite the fact that they're, interestingly enough, both not like, they're both like some sort of like construct or something. Like one's a puppet, one's a warforged, one's basically a robot. So that's it's just really interesting, but also interesting to see how they just contrast and how they would react. And
yeah,
I don't know.
So what would the both characters' reaction would be to Kira?
I mean, yeah, you know what? Yeah, go for it.
It would depend at which point in time you were talking to Rags.
Found my book and dice. Oh, cool.
Because he went through a fairly major character change throughout the Abode story. He started as a half-broken, curmudgeonly old man who relied on his staff to walk and walked slower than everyone else, who didn't like anyone, and really traveled with the group because he felt like he had to a repentitious a man repenting for everything that he did before he lost his memory. As much like Ark, Rags was an amnesiac case, and up to when he started gaining his memory back, he gradually became more and more evil, doing crueler and crueler things, until one fateful day when, well, he got his memories back, and resolved to stop his more cruel acts, even though he still did some of them, being told off by Baku the entire time. Versus his most recent iteration, which is what we call Merlin in Rags. Who
Robot Dad.
is
Not exactly,
no,
but
no. We call, because Merlin is actually Rags' original name.
yes.
Hang on, I've got to check who's in chat.
I think Sarah hasn't been watching for a while.
Okay. Because he and his... I don't think I should talk about it anyway.
Yeah, it's fine.
His original name was Merlin, and for the bulk of his life, 30 years, he was Merlin. 30 years unconscious and buried at a beach.
The item theme music is surprisingly appropriate for him.
It is.
Yeah. And that
he then wielded some incredibly dangerous magic in order to repair his body after all the damage it had suffered in that first 30 years.
Oof.
And it altered his personality towards more neutrality and a less evil outlook on the world. He kept his collection of creatures going, though. I still think Duke is my favorite. But yeah, it really depends on which version Kira met. If it was Rags, like old man Rags, I don't think they'd get along at all.
No.
I think Rags would, more often than not, just tell her to leave him alone.
Alright.
If it's Memories Rag, like after he's gotten his memories back, it would be a more friendly outlook. More willing to talk to her about whatever questions she had. And Merlin in Rags he treats everyone like a friend unless he knows that they're not. He treats everyone like they can be trusted until they prove they can't. He's still skeptical of some people, but that's simply because he's still fairly, he's a robot.
Yeah.
She'd have the best chance talking to Merlin and Rags, and the worst chance talking to old Rags.
Alright. Guess with that said, how would Riona interact with Kira?
Considering Riona is lesbo, she'd be like, "Yay, another person to mingle with."
Yeah.
I'm 18.
She's 19.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that doesn't really matter. And Riona and Dora are in a relationship, so I would say all three of them would get along. Because, Dora, at least how I've been writing her so far, If I can describe her some way, she's sort of like Transformers animated Optimus, but a lot nicer. Like, she can be matter of fact, and she does have, some, qualities of being a leader, but more often than not, she's a very kind-hearted person, and, she is the type to, seeing as she's a cleric, care for others. Which, honestly, I think that's partially what attracted her to Riona. That was more Dora than Riona, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess, yeah, I could see the three getting
Okay,
along. Sisterly relationship.
Yeah, so, Castiel?
I think Cass and Kira would get along pretty well too. I mean, just the fact that Kira, even though she handles her magic very differently, she's a healer. She's focusing on keeping everybody alive, and that's definitely something that Cass can relate to.
I feel your pain. The healers scream eternally when the tanks go
Laura
down.
Bryn Star! Laura Bryn Star! Laura Bryn Star! Sorry, I love this song.
Okay. Yeah, so it's like, and it's like, I just think, I don't know, I think they would get along. Yeah, because, like, they even have kind of similar personalities, so it's like, again, like, that kind of connection, where they're both pretty headstrong. So, yeah, I could see them getting along very well.
Yee.
And how about you, Lele?
We've already established that Kira would be praising Lele, so they would get along.
Yeah, so Kira would praise Lele, and Lele would eat it up.
It's like,
Yes.
that's right, take it all in.
I don't think I have to imagine for Vlog's reaction.
Virog is a friend to everybody.
Yeah, he's friendly to everyone.
Virog is friend-shaped.
Yes.
Virog is
Friend.
in fact shaped like a friend.
You're my friend now. Also, rip Mr. Whiskers. I just realized that.
Mr. Wiz. Oh yeah, the doll that Rickett tied to himself.
Aww.
Hashtag bring back Mr. Whiskers.
No, it's like Ricky gets a good shot on at Strahd. This is for Mr. Whiskers.
Yes.
I'm sorry if it seems like we're combining both the Abode and Curse of Strahd, by the way.
No, it's fine. I think more than half of us are eager to get back to it. But the day will come. We just gotta get through this campaign first.
Mm-hmm.
I do want to make it clear. I still want to finish the story for this one too. I don't know if I'm speaking for everyone. I hope I'm not. I hope I am, but just in case, I am just speaking for myself here. I don't think of continuing Strahd as just a chore. It's something I look forward to still. So
Yeah, same here. I just can't wait to. I just can't wait for when the Abode re-happens and I get to introduce you guys to my small.
I can't wait either.
Yeah,
But
honestly,
I also
I can't wait to get back on the thing that started it all for the 7 of us.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll add you to it.
Yay.
Yeah. I also can't wait for the next session.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
make it. So let's make. But I guess one more question related to both the Abode and Curse of Strahd. Unless you want to count your character, just because, who do you think your Abode character would get along with the most with the cast of Curse of Strahd and vice
We already
versa?
asked that.
No. I mean, no. I was talking about how the Curse of Strahd characters would react to how our let me try and phrase it in a way that makes a lot more sense. My question before was how my two characters would interact if they were in a room. Now I'm asking how my character from one campaign, who would they get along with considering the cast of the other campaign? Counting all the characters. For instance, who would Riona get along with the most among the Curse of Strahd cast, or who would Baku get along with you know what I mean? Hopefully.
What you're trying to ask is, instead of the players' characters interacting with each other, how would they react with everyone else?
Yeah, or just who would they get along with the most?
That's
kind of
a bit
already established
broad.
Riona as Kira.
Yeah, like, that's a pretty broad term.
I guess.
And we'd be here for hours if that were the case.
I'm not asking for, like, the entire party. I'm asking just one person, who would they get along with the most?
Okay.
I think my small would probably get along with a lot of people. I could just see Art.
Go on.
I could just see Art picking up my small little bard and just like carrying her around on his shoulder. Like, this is mine now. This is my friend. She is super tiny. Go on, Rickett.
I think it depends again on which version of Rags you're talking about. For the sake of brevity, we'll use Merlin in Rags. And on that, it would probably be Ark.
Really?
Yeah.
Remember, he's a necromancer. Necromancers are attracted to things that are of death, and he's a bearded vulture.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
Bearded vultures are, again, as explained much earlier before.
Yeah, they eat bones.
They eat bones. As much as Rags would have to keep trying to stop Ark from eating his minions.
You know, honestly, Ark hasn't really eaten anyone yet. Yet.
Num nums. ...
Yet.
Can I eat strudel?
No, like
He'd eat his skull if he could.
No, ignoring Strahd, I can honestly see that being a really fucked up how do you want to do this at some point.
Oh, just...
How do you want to do this? I eat him whole.
Oh, God.
Vor.
I didn't know you were playing a snake.
You know what? We joke about that, but that's exactly how Fern, did a how do you want to do this in the recent Critical Role. She fucking ate a shade creeper as a snake.
Delicious.
I'm suddenly afraid of Fern.
And the music kicks in.
Exactly. That's what plays in my mind when she did that.
Yeah, I can't wait. But back in, like, getting back on the topic to Strahd, it's like I can't wait to get back to Milwaukee because there's like so many fun things in there.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I guess Brian. I guess Rihanna. You said Kira.
Yeah, like we kind of already established it would be Kira.
It's like yeah, like Cass, honestly, I think it could like, while I definitely see her getting along with Kira, I also see her getting along with Corey.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, just like on, just on even on like the diplomatic approach, like, it's like, we don't always have to fall back on violence or trying to hold somebody back, because there have been times where Cass has had to hold someone back. Like, she's held Rags back a couple of times from doing pretty bad shit.
Yeah, honestly, they would be on a very similar wavelength.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'd say it's a toss-up between Kira and Corey would probably be... Yeah, that would probably be who Cass would just naturally gravitate to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Girl power. Let's go.
I think for Lele, kind of like how Rags was a very interesting thing for her, I think Ricket would also be, especially considering how it's sort of similar but also very different Ricket is from Rags. That being said, other than Rags, other than Ricket, I think it might be Kedrot. Because...
You know what? Yeah, the pride thing.
Yeah.
Well, not just that. Just remember Faye.
Uh-huh.
Not just that. I feel like if because she knows, because we know at least that Kedra is very honest. Whatever he thinks is the truth, he will say. Yeah. So, more than likely, if there's anything positive he had to say about Lele, and he was talking to her, or there's a chance that that would be brought up.
Yeah.
And who would relish in that?
Yeah, Lele.
Exactly. On the flip side, looking at our cast and seeing the abode, Mimi would probably get along the most with Cass, because they're both much more dedicated life clerics.
Yeah, they're both life clerics for one thing.
Yeah, so there's a good chance that that they might have some sort of shared interest, and who knows, maybe Cass would be okay with her despite being a tiefling,
Right. Okay. Well, if we're going about what would our Curse of Strahd characters with abode.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Honestly, for Arc, that's kind of a tough one. I would... My first inkling would probably be Virog. Just because, stupid strong big barbarians. It's like, of course they can fucking relate. It's like, at the same time, I guess, like, to piggyback what Dion is saying, depending on when Ark would encounter Rags, I could possibly see that, having some kind of a connection. But I think it would probably have to be more closer to, like, where Rags was when we left off the abode. Because, like current Rags, I think Ark could very much respect. But, like, early Rags, I think he'd be pretty distrustful of him. Yeah, because, I mean, Rags definitely had his secrets, and then, like, the whole raising the dead thing, and just the experiences with Strahd, he'd be like, what are you doing? And then he's collecting all the minions and the monsters. What are you doing?
Oh, God.
Slowly raises his talons.
Yeah, but then
Rags.
Yeah, but then like current Rags, where it's like, okay, no, he's not a threat. Okay, I'm fine.
For some reason, I can see him getting along rather well with Bakuhatsu.
Oh, probably.
Yeah, mostly with how Baku is.
I'd imagine for Bakuhatsu getting along with characters, it would either be Sugash or Kedrot.
Yeah, Sugash or Kedrot, most likely.
Mm-hmm. But Boom, no.
I'm gonna have to duck off here. I've got a couple things to do.
Oh, no problem.
Okay.
All right.
It was nice having you, though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
Thanks for hanging.
Boy.
I'll see
Later.
you in 2 weeks.
Alrighty.
Bye.
Okay,
Goodbye.
bye.
Bye.
Okay.
Honestly, I'm trying to think.
But yeah,
Let's say-
sorry, go ahead.
I'm trying to think who Rao would get along in, like, outside of...
Again, I want you to be careful about mentioning that character because, again, I would rather you introduce them when it's, time.
Alright, gotcha.
Yeah, just I'm gonna throw the ban hammer on that. Like, I know you've been mentioning them a couple times.
Right. Okay,
Yeah, no spoilers, please.
Right. I have been bonked by the DM hammer.
As the DM should, like, they shouldn't allow everything to happen. Like, I've already made... Oh, you okay?
Yeah, like I said, I'm trying to get over a fucking cold and strep throat.
I know.
I can't believe you bonked her so hard she started coughing.
Oh, must have crushed her larynx then, shit.
It's what I posted in memes.
Yeah. That's perfect. But, yeah.
Wait,
Definitely
Brian-
behind the scenes, we can talk about that. It's just, seeing as we're not behind the scenes right now,
Right,
Yeah. Like, there's something I wanted to talk about earlier, but I didn't realize that was also not something that was public, so we had to keep that behind the scenes.
Yeah, good.
I guess to end off that question, this question, who would Kedrot get? Did we answer who Kedrot would get along with the most?
Kedrot's a weird one because I don't think Kedrot would primarily pick a favorite.
So, like Virog, he'd probably be friendly with everyone.
Yeah, because like even with Rickett, who doesn't entirely trust Kedrot because of the connections that he has with the Fae, he's very tolerant towards it.
Yeah, Rickett even said, "I'm gonna try and move past that, but I have my reservations."
Yeah, and yeah, Kedrot respects that. So yeah, I don't think he'd pick I don't think there's one that he would necessarily pick out as like a favorite in the group.
I mean, I don't know if this is necessarily favorite, just someone who they would get along with.
Yeah.
Right, but well, kind of same principle. Like, I don't think he'd necessarily have someone where it's like he gets along with a certain individual better than another one.
Yeah, which makes sense because Kedrot is kind of a man with the people.
Yeah.
So yeah, kind of like Virog, he'd be everyone's friend, unless they go out of the way to harm others.
Yeah.
Then all bets are off.
Kedrot would absolutely do arm wrestling with Virog.
Yeah. Kedrot does not inflict harm unless all their options have been exhausted.
I can't wait to get I can't wait to get back to Strahd and we get a fucking first ever Brawl Tavern fight.
If we ever get one. But yeah, is there any big thing that we have yet to discuss, or do you think, we pretty much have all our bases covered?
I don't know. It kind of sounds like we got our bases covered.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
I do want to say I apologize if it feels like I've been hogging all the questions. I guess I wanted to make sure we had something to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, that's fine.
Right.
I always
thanks for that.
And to be fair, we have been streaming for nearly 4 hours. So I mean, it's like I think.
Wait, really?
Yeah, we started at 7.
Yeah, started around 7.
Yeah, so I think.
Yeah, and we spent
Okay, then
Yeah, so.
And I know we spent like an hour talking about a recap, I believe.
Yeah, so I mean, I think we pretty much covered what we initially wanted to cover.
All right. Well, in that case,
now the true question though is, how much does Illison love Kedrot?
Times infinity.
The answer is just
we
on a scale of 1 to 10, she'd pick 11.
on On a scale of 1 to 10, we call her something that we are not allowed to say on Twitch.
We're on YouTube, so
I
we can say it.
know.
Simp, 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 simp.
I know. I know we can say it on YouTube. I know we can say it on YouTube. I know we can say simp on YouTube.
Yeah, this isn't going on Twitch, so we can say whatever we want, really.
Unless
it upsets Daddy YouTube.
I'm saying it, but it's funnier to say with a word. I think it's funnier to say, there's something we would call it, but Twitch would ban us.
What's that about The Simpsons?
I have a alternative way of saying that word on Twitch.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thirsty.
I have another way of saying it myself. Tier 3 sub.
Tier 3 sub. What?
Tier 3 sub.
Is that like a VTuber thing? Oh yeah, there's 2 versions of the wrecked ship. One where it's like dead, and then another that we're listening to right now where it's activated. Just a nice tidbit. Honestly, I think the activated version is a bit creepier.
I think that kind of clues in there. I think we pretty much discussed everything.
Yeah. Okay. We're gonna sign off. For when our next game is gonna be scheduled. Look no further than December 18th.
Yeah.
And then, honestly, it's kind of a blessing in disguise that we're not playing as much on December because, it's December. Not exactly an appropriate time for spooky stuff. So we'd probably be... Yeah, so we'd probably be off... Well, I know we're going to be off on New Year's. Because I know people are going to want to celebrate that. So the next game after that would probably be...
Unless you want
January 15th, and then it'll go back to normal.
I mean, either January 15th or January 8th, depending on if we want to start it the week after.
It would have to be 15 because Brian isn't working that.
Damn, it's too bad my birthday is not on a Saturday, because that'd be cool.
But yeah,
the best birthday present ever, playing Curse of Strahd. Which honestly, I think that would be the case for you. So.
But yeah, to wrap things off on my end, I'm excited for. I like playing D&D. Okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
That's the end of the sentence.
Yeah, that's fine.
Alright, I guess this would be our cue to sign off.
Yep, so...
Yeah, so join us again for Curse of Strahd Session 7 on December 18th. Yes, I can words.
Mm-hmm.
We can work.
It is Session 7, right?
Hey, good night.
Night, everybody.
Good night.